So I looked in. There was a TaylorMade. It was a pitching wedge, but it was an M3. I wouldn't take that. I could have.
You had that thought, didn't you?
I like the way
that's close enough.
You know what?
I could have, but
you are
I
better
like
than the
that.
rest of us, Iggy.
No, I'm
for
better.
not stealing.
I'm better than the guy that didn't turn in my M6.
So I agree with that.
But it wasn't TaylorMade. It was an M3. It was a nice wedge, but it wasn't mine, and somebody lost it, and I'm sure they'll come back and get it. So I'm not going to take somebody else's, but somebody has mine.
I agree. Someone stole it, but I don't think you deserve congratulations for not turning around and stealing from someone else.
I'm just saying a lot of people would have. A lot of people would have said, well, somebody took my TaylorMade, I'm taking this one. But I'm not like that.
I like to think most people wouldn't do that.
Maybe golf clubs need to have a little more color to them so that you notice it when you set them on the ground.
Doug, the idea, man.
You lay a wedge on the
Stealing my
grass
thing.
and you don't see it sometimes when you go back to the cart.
I never leave them in the grass, though.
But if it had kind of a bright color to it somewhere, maybe you'd be more likely to see it. Yes, questions, Hayes. In
You
the
know,
front.
have that thing find a phone, or you sometimes you hit a button and you can find something.
Oh, sure.
What if they put like a little alarm on every club where we hit some on your phone, it goes caw caw over here.
That'd be annoying. That would be a little bit annoying, I think.
I've never lost a club on the golf course until this time, and I always, if I like get out of the cart and you take a wedge and a putter, I always lay it on the fringe. So when I'm walking, and between the flag and the cart, so I know when I'm walking off the green, I'm going to walk right by it and I'm going to see it. So I really don't know how I just missed it.
Yeah, messed up one time.
Happens.
Goodbye M6.
Human beings make mistakes. It doesn't mean someone should have walked off with it.
No,
Yeah,
That's
what are you gonna
awful. You find that person and then you hit golf balls at them.
I got a used one.
Guys, was the entire purpose of Iggy's 20-minute story to brag about hitting a wedge within 5 feet of the hole? Thanks. That's from the boy MILF.
Yeah, that was exactly it.
No, I think
If I want to
Pretty
brag
nice
about
shot,
it, I
though.
could have come in Thursday and said, you should have seen the shot I hit with Pete yesterday, Tim.
Are you done hitting into groups that you feel are going too slow? Are you done? I think that's what the listeners would like to hear, because all of us are works in progress. Wouldn't you agree with that, Plowsy?
Yeah, I mean, I've hit into people too before, but not often. Most of the time on accident when you can't see them over the hill.
Well, if it's accidental, that's accidental. There's a difference between intentionally doing it because you're mad at them for taking too
Look,
long.
slow play is annoying. It's terrible waiting 10 minutes per shot on each hole. It's frustrating.
Yeah, 14 was like that. We didn't do it on purpose. We hit over the hill, and Pete's driver thing actually went by him.
What if you
What,
end
are they
up
on the
hitting
fourth
someone
shot?
in the face with a golf ball? You'd feel terrible, wouldn't you?
I'm not that good. I aim for the person. That way I know I won't hit them.
That'd be good when you're giving testimony in the lawsuit.
Yeah, hitting golf balls into people's dangerous stuff because you can really get hurt bad.
That's usually a wedge.
Well, even still, a golf ball hit by a wedge can still hurt a lot.
Eh.
All right, I'll be better, Doug.
Okay, that's what I wanted to hear. Now we're cooking with gas.
Doug, I don't know, are you looking for any homes in Nashville?
Not yet,
Good
not
luck.
until my country music career kicks in.
Per the New York Post, it kind of depends on your perspective. Kevin Demoff said, fortunately or unfortunately, we went on a losing streak. In this case, fortunately or unfortunately, a real estate agent was posting a new listing for one of his clients, and this happened. This broker found a risque way to get ahead in the Nashville real estate market. He posted an X-rated image in his property listing. Real estate agent Miguel Calvo of Benchmark Realty uploaded a sexy selfie Tuesday to the online listing of a 2,900 square foot 4-bedroom home. Beyond photos of the home's charming brick exterior, roomy eat-in kitchen, and formal dining room, prospective buyers also got a hot shot of a naked Calvo snapped through a mirror, apparently receiving fellatio from what appears to be a much younger woman.
No.
The unidentified real estate lover is naked and on her knees on the bed with her pink flip-flops located just off to the side. Now, the image has been taken down.
This is what he used to try to sell a home?
He would not say whether or not it was intentional that he put it up.
And you know what? You don't really need a formal dining room anyway, really, in a house that
You think
size.
that's wasted space?
Yeah, I think this is what it really was all about. People don't use the dining room that much. Now, 2,900 square foot, that's not a huge house. It's a nice house. It's not a huge one. And chances are you don't really need that formal dining room.
Another fun fact about this story, it also doesn't appear that Calvo ever officially had the listing for this home. Located at
that's a problem.
137 Saxon Miss Drive, which hit the market this week. Calvo's professional page does not appear on Benchmark Realty's website. This is a rogue real estate agent. And the company
Former real estate agent.
And the company told Scoop Nashville that its agents are independent contractors working under the company name and not direct employees. Now, do you know Benchmark CEO Philip Cantrell at all?
Is that Philip Cantrell?
Yep.
Yeah, I know him.
He says, quote, "We are a faith-based organization
Yeah, right.
and hold a very dim view of impropriety. Yet we also have a set procedure of investigation when accusations are made so that, in fairness to all parties, we do not unnecessarily exacerbate a situation. With that said, after due process of an investigation of such claims, should we determine the agent did act in an improper manner, you may rest assured that their license will be released back to the state for disposition."
Yeah.
Phil Cantrell.
He's not going to take any of this kind of nonsense.
Sounds like he was just looking for an open house to have sex.
Do you think that could have been some sort of meta play where, oops, I made a mistake, and now we get the whole country talking about it, and people want to come and buy this house?
You think Miguel Calvo is that sophisticated? I think he might be.
Well,
Did the house have an open floor plan? Because I like to do a lot of entertaining.
do you? Well, chances are not if they're going to have that formal dining room, because that's going to cut into some of the place where you get entertained.
Does it make you less apt to buy a home if you see the former buyer receiving oral in one of your bedrooms?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't.
So I don't think it's a positive for the
No,
listing.
you don't want to know what went on in the house before you got it. You don't.
Well, it looks like she's a nice lady.
Well, she's probably mad too that her picture's out there. Can you tell who it is? I mean, is there the shot close enough that you could identify the person?
Looks like India Summer from.
Because that could be.
Doesn't it look like India Summer from the? Or Club Pro guy based on the pixelation.
Can I ask a question? So when you see pictures like this posted, where there's like obviously someone with a cell phone recording it, wouldn't someone say, you know what, I'm not comfortable with that? Or is that just me?
I don't follow the question. Can you please ask it again?
A lot of these things where you see these leaked photos or whatever, that's clear in these risque pictures, someone has a cell phone taking a picture of it. So if you're involved in that, wouldn't you go, whoa, I didn't say we're going to put this on video and share it.
Well, did this person know that they were on?
I don't know. I'm just saying, generally speaking,
do you know Miguel Calvo? Can we get him on?
I can check. Yep. I have friends in Nashville.
Who you got there? Any fluffernutters?
A couple beach loafers.
Beach loafers.
And a couple other people that I
Well, you'll
know.
be seeing them soon enough.
Well, I mean, people have become famous because of that. I mean, Kim Kardashian became famous because they filmed her sex.
And that was set up.
Turns out that way, yeah.
That was the beginning of her fame?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, she was famous because of her father with the O.J. trial, and people kind of knew the Kardashian name, but nobody really knew who she was.
And her dad was the attorney that had the salt and pepper streak.
That's right.
Right? And was friends with O.J.
Yeah.
Yeah. Played by
David Schwimmer.
Yes.
David Schwimmer, doesn't matter who he's playing, it's kind of the same Ross character, I know.
Uncle Juice.
Am I wrong with that?
Uncle Juice?
I don't know how many times he said juice in that movie.
A lot.
Juice. Uncle Juice. God, it was awful.
Okay, stop.
I don't know how
Tim,
any
what
of
was
those
the
people-
Davenport sitch in those pics? Thanks, that's from Flip Wilson. Let me see if I can spot a Davenport.
Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert, is with us. Ryan, rates are still going up. Is it a good time to buy a house still?
Absolutely, Doug. It truly is. We have a saying at the Home Loan Expert office. You marry the house, you date the rate. You know, you fall in love with the house. You're going to be there for a while. But the mortgage, you're probably going to refinance that along the way. Let me give you a great explanation of how this is a perfect time to buy a home. Let's say the house is for sale for $400,000. A year ago, with multiple offers, you might have had to spend $450 or $475 to buy that house. But now, in officially a buyer's market, you might be able to get that same house for $350,000. So homes are selling for less, and that's great. Now, mortgage rates are up, but don't let that scare you. Again, you marry the house, you date the rate. Mortgage rates will come back down at some point, and at thehomeloanexpert.com, we will refinance you with no fees to help keep that payment down. So again, it's a great time to buy a home. Don't let a little higher interest rate scare you. We'll refinance you without fees when the time's right. So, got questions? Ready to get pre-approved? Visit thehomeloanexpert.com.
Hey, this is Tim McKernan for Design Air Heating and Cooling. I am a very happy client. Design Air Heating and Cooling and Seth Goldcamp and his incredible staff, which you can find online at designairservice.com. Just go to the website, click on the Book Now tab, and any issues you may be having with your HVAC system, they will take care of immediately. The customer service, second to none. It's Design Air Heating and Cooling online at designairservice.com.
Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day. Rise and shine, St. Louis. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. At the Morning After STL on YouTube and on TMASTL.com with Tim McKernan, Doug Vaughn, Iggy Strode, The Plowboy, and Action Jackson.
7:07 in St. Louis. You're listening to the Ryan Kelly Morning After. This is the Munganess St. Louis Acura, Alton Toyota, 7 o'clock hour. Welcome to the Michelob Ultra Studios. Timothy, Michael McKernan, Douglas Elvin, Vaughn, Kenneth Iggy Strode, the Plowhawk, Action Jackson with you. Come on in, friends. The water is warm, and in the water, we will play. And we will play dirty little games.
Well, I'm not going in the water.
Find the gerbil.
There's not gerbils in the water either.
Yeah, they are. They're on little surfboards.
Gerbils cannot swim.
That's why they're on surfboards.
Now, I've seen a squirrel ski in some local news video. Remember seeing that?
Oh, yeah.
Guy in the back of his pool in his backyard, squirrel skiing.
What do they call those types of packages? It's at the tail end. It's usually
Kicker.
Okay.
What is kicker?
Okay. I remember that being a big thing when we were doing local, for the student newscast every week. We need
just some delightful kicker video. Yeah. Just to show that you're human, too, and you enjoy a good story. It's not all bad news.
Forget the first 12 minutes of murders and crime. And
we're going to send you to bed with a laugh.
Well, it's a wonderful industry. We recommend getting into it. You're welcome to get involved. 314-881-TMA5, Engineer Design Facilities. Text inbox, 314-881-TMA5. And you can call in. Really want to focus on the phone lines today. 636-9004-TMA, the Steve Schmidt Kia North County phone lines. And, of course, email in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. And, Doug, I guess I got to make it a Sadie Hawkins today.
Okay.
First off, I need to make sure that the people know that we have brand new merchandise at TMASTLshop.com. Brand new merchandise.
Yeah.
Friday night is pizza night. The TMA golf logos, hoodies, and T-shirts all available in a potpourri of different colors. And, of course, Sound Story available at mysoundstory.com. Perfect for the holidays. Get them now because, if anything, I recall from last year, we fill up in November and December for the holidays. So go to mysoundstory.com. Did one yesterday. What an absolute delight.
She was. I'm going to give her a shout out anyways.
You're going to give her a shout out.
She's awesome. I mean,
Who was
people like that.
Lady named Patricia.
Oh, such a sweet gal.
Yeah, she was.
On top of
She
her
was
game.
hip. She was hip.
Are you kidding me? She could use an iPhone better than I could.
Yeah.
She has like 3 computers. She is very much so in the know. At her age, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
She was a treat.
MySoundStory.com. Doug, me, Jackson, learn from KC95. And as I said, we're going to be expanding the roster here with more Hubbard Radio personalities being involved. So, MySoundStory.com. Get your gift certificate for the holidays or book the Sound Story. It's a gift you will never regret giving or never regret receiving, and you'll have it for decades. MySoundStory.com. Come on in, friends. The water is warm. All right, Doug, it's a Sadie Hawkins. What are we going with here?
I guess the Sound Story. That was so good.
The Cardinals, Adam Wainwright, Jeff Albert, Mike Maddox, John Mazzillock's press conference. We have sound. The Blues, they lose. They don't score. They haven't scored a 5-on-5 goal since a game against Seattle.
Can't get anything past Skinsy. Yeah.
Yes.
And then also we have a Dear Deidre. So it's your pick.
Oh, I guess the Blues. I watched that game last night. It seemed like they played pretty well. They just couldn't get anything past it.
Well, it was a slow first period, but then some line changes by the Blues in the second period led to domination, but yet not many goals. Just one from Ryan O'Reilly on the power play. And alas, it's another loss, but perhaps the macro concern is the scoring.
Yeah, O'Reilly got his first.
which helped my fantasy team. But
Nice.
I got nothing else from all the other Blues I have, so,
Jeremy Rutherford's not high on your fantasy team.
He's not.
Yeah,
Thanks for
that was
nothing.
funny.
Thanks for nothing.
I think the problem is the injuries. We got 2 defensemen and Bruce Nevich.
Bruce Nevich.
Bruce Nevich.
He's out.
And that's tough.
Sad, and they won't be playing tonight either.
Yeah. So, I mean, they're very thin. I'm still confident it's an 82-game season. Like, November hockey really doesn't. I mean, late October, November hockey in the grand scheme of things is very early. I'm excited about the team, but I watched that game last night.
The most encouraging thing's been the goaltending. Jordan Bennington was outstanding again.
Yeah, he was good. Stood on his head.
Tonight. He did stand on his head. Yep. You're going up against that Edmonton team for the second time. And Doug, would you say 4 days or 5 days?
I'd say something
Jackson
like that.
and I
I'd say
debated
4.
this for an hour.
4 or 5 days.
I think we came down 5 days.
We came to the conclusion it was 5.
If you just say, it's been 4 or 5 days, then you're not wrong. And you're in the ballpark.
That's what I should have gone with.
Yeah.
A little less than a week.
Can't go wrong there either.
That's how I would have handled it.
The injuries are just going to happen. It happens to every team and every year. You're going to play the whole year with somebody hurt.
Well,
You just got to be deep enough to still be able to win some games while some of your key players are out.
Edmonton's fast.
Doug?
But that's a good comment.
You should start off balloon party with that.
McDavid might be the fastest guy in the league. He and Kyrou, I guess.
The whole team was fast.
Yeah.
Couldn't look up without them sprinting down the ice.
Right. Well, we'll get him tonight.
Man, Bennington got a little attitude. I love that.
Oh, major attitude.
He is.
Yes, he does.
He is a spitfire. Every
Yeah.
game I watch, there's at least a 1 or 2 second little clip of
He got a
him.
Vander Kane last night.
Yeah, perfect. So,
Doug, remember what would have happened if he wouldn't have hit the post?
oh God,
Oh, yeah.
That's
whole
where
different.
Vander-
Whole different.
Pandemic wouldn't have happened.
No,
I agree with
think
you.
so.
they're talking about that 2 games later. I think
And he's probably the skinniest, lightest guy on the ice.
he doesn't
For-
look like a hockey player.
For acting like such a tough guy, he's probably the skinniest, lightest guy out there.
He's got plowsy legs.
He really does.
Yeah, but that attitude, like, you don't mess with a guy like that. I don't care what your size is. He has no fear, and that's in a battle.
Well,
that's
he's got
what
a
you
stick
need.
in his hand too. So.
Well, that's true.
I think a lot of guys would mess with him if they didn't think they were just going to get gang beaten by the rest of the guys on the Blues roster.
Yeah, they probably don't necessarily enjoy what goes on
No.
when they skate toward that net.
Uh-uh.
Hey, Doug, Kyrou and Thomas are laughing all the way to the bank. They probably trick all the average-looking St. Louis women to touch them, just like they tricked Army? That's from the Shrewsbury Seat Sniffer.
Well, they did get big contracts and haven't done much yet, but it's very, very early.
Robert Thomas deserved the contract. I thought the Kyrou one was a little.
I was surprised by it only because I got the sense that Berube's not a big fan
That's
of his
what I
work.
was-
So Berube was really complimentary of his play last night in the postgame. And I kind of get the sense that he over-compliments if he's not real high on somebody, and he under-compliments if he's getting the sense that somebody's starting to gain some momentum to try to keep. Doug, is that a term you use, equilibrium? Is that what you try to use?
I try not to
Level-headed.
use it, no, because I don't have a lot of it myself. Yeah, it's a touchy term.
But Robert Thomas
keep
is
him in
like,
check.
yeah, a young Ryan O'Reilly. I mean, he's a guy you want. Kyrou is a speedster, certainly had the ability to get 30-plus.
Yeah,
He had a wide-open look last night.
it's no doubt you want them both. It's just a matter of are those guys that will be the cornerstone of the team.
They're not
Because
even
you're
in the-
paying them like they are.
They're not
Next
in the-
man up, Skate Boy Skate, Stephen Wildwood. Think about that. Next man up.
That's an important thing.
Skate Boy Skate.
Yeah, because the other teams don't have that philosophy. The other teams feel like if somebody gets hurt, we're quitting. We're not going to put anyone else out there. It's not the next man up with us. We're just folding our tent.
Tonight's a Skate Boy Skate night.
Doesn't that bother you when a coach or player says, well, on our team, we have a next man up mentality? No kidding. What's the alternative to that? We're quitting now?
Well, Doug, you remember in 1987, Norman Dale, head coach of Hickory High, said, my team is on the floor.
Right.
And so he didn't have next man up.
No, well,
Quite the opposite, in fact.
Yeah.
He had no men left on the bench. I
Well,
guess
he didn't want to put in, what was that
Ollie.
guy's name, Darnell?
Ollie.
Ollie. But he hit a big free
No, I
throw.
thought Ollie went in, but it was the guy who didn't listen to the play.
Right.
His name was Darnell, right?
I can't remember.
it
Was that the guy who said it smelled like Dentine?
Darnell Nurse, and I thought he had the first goal, but apparently it was deflected.
Dude, Jimmy Chitwood might be the most overrated player in the world.
He was good. What do you mean? He had a nice jumper.
Jump shot.
He looked
That was
good.
it. He didn't have a
He was way too good before his time. If he had a 3-point line back then.
I mean, if he just like,
Yeah, that is true.
if he had a
Think about it.
step back jumper.
How about if Pete Maravich had had a 3-point line?
Right.
Pete Maravich used to shoot from 40 feet away, and he averaged over 40 a game as it was.
Yeah. Well, it's fun when your dad's the coach.
Well, and you're one of the most talented players in the history of the sport.
No, I agree.
What do you got against Robbie Benson?
I don't have a darn thing against Robbie Benson. What's he got to do with Pistol Pete Maravich?
I can't remember the name of that movie. Robbie Benson was in.
What?
We're talking fictional basketball players.
Was Robbie Benson in... What movie was he in?
He was in
Just go type Robbie Benson in a search engine and see what happens.
He was in a basketball movie with Annette Toole, who got naked.
What?
Who?
He wasn't in Hoosiers.
happened?
I don't even know. It's like Mad Libs.
He was in a...
1-on-1
yeah.
from 1977.
Yes,
Oh, Doug, best screenplay.
Oh, I don't think so.
I can't tell you one person who's in this.
He was a highly recruited...
Oh, Melanie Griffith.
Yeah, and I think Annette O'Toole was in there, too.
He won the Stinker Award for Worst Actor in both Die Laughing in 1980 and Tribute a year later.
Really?
Yeah, he's not good.
Oh, and also in 1979's Walk Proud.
But he was...
What a title.
And yet he gets named here at 7.
Is that the Dewey Oxberger movie?
No, that's Walk
Came in
Hard.
a few years later.
Yeah, he was a highly recruited basketball player. Went to college, and he couldn't get in the game. And then the funny thing, at the end, somebody got hurt, and the coach had to put him in, and he hit a 3-pointer in the game. And the coach goes, "Great job." He goes, "I'm leaving. I can play anywhere in the country now." You had one shot.
Yeah.
No, that was Robbie Benson.
The poster says there comes a time when love stops being a ball and starts being a woman.
What?
Can we make that a T-shirt?
It's so, what a quote.
Well, it matches the movie, which they both sucked.
Who's the worst actor now, today, working regularly?
Tick-tock, tick-tock.
So, like-
Small Hands bothers me.
Nicolas Cage is awful.
No, Nicolas Cage is good. Bad take.
Whatever his name is.
Who?
Jason Momoa?
Jason Momoa.
Wow.
Like, are you talking about like which actors in the worst movies? Because like The Rock would give you a good run for their money.
No, not worst movie, just the worst actor. You say Robbie Benson won the Stinker Award back in the 70s. I wonder who would win it now.
They have the Golden Raspberries every year where they give worst like actor. Oh, look who was up there last year.
Okay.
Jackson cut his own mic. You hear that? You tell him?
Well, it's going to go do some research.
That's the research mic cutting. That's what it sounds like. That's how you know it's about to get reels.
All right.
Guys, what about Sunvold with a 3-point line? Norm would have won a national championship. Steve Wildwood active this morning.
Well, it would have helped. It would have changed the game. Because, back then the big thing was work it inside, let your big guy have a close shot, hit the 15-foot jumper. And now it's all 3-point plays. Both college and pros seem to be 1-3 after the next.
Guys, Iggy can bring a conversation to a screeching halt unlike any other. It's unmatched talent. That's from Tracy Woodson.
Well, we were talking Bobby Chitwood,
Jimmy.
who isn't a
Bobby
real...
was his brother. He
isn't
was
a real
the sequel
person.
that never gained traction.
So we were talking about fictional athletes, and I brought up Robbie Benson in 101.
This guy Chitwood, though, he could hit the open shot.
Travolta is a frequent, looks like a frequent winner of these Golden Raspberries.
No, is that right? What pictures? Don't you like that when somebody says pictures?
Pictures, yeah. Shows you know more about film.
That movie he did as what's his name, John Gotti, that didn't do well.
Oh, he played...
Teflon Don.
Yeah.
He played Robert Shapiro in the O.J. Simpson
Oh,
thing.
my God, he was terrible.
God,
in
he
that.
was awful.
The one movie I liked, I think it's From Paris with Love. That was a good flick, actually.
I thought he was great in Face Off. He was good in
Face Off.
Face Off.
That movie stinks.
Tarantino. Nobody likes that. I love that movie.
It's so weird.
Whee! What a predicament.
Nice.
I liked him in
Better clip
Tarantino's...
that off.
Pulp Fiction?
Yeah, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, that's a classic, but...
Saturday Night Live. He was a terrible actor.
Who was that? Ving Rhames who bottomed?
Yeah.
I don't
Marcellus
know.
Wiley. I'm going to get medieval on your ass.
And he lives in Ocala, Florida.
Really?
Yeah, he's got a house out in the middle of nowhere
That's horse country.
outside of Ocala
You know who else does?
with a
Louis
runway
Oosthuizen.
for his airplane.
Bubba the Love Sponge.
Oh, is that
Oh,
right?
does he?
Friend of the show.
Yeah, yeah. He owns a racetrack out there.
I think Travolta has a runway right in his backyard, too.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And Louis Oosthuizen just bought a house there with all of his horses.
Oh, we did. In Ocala?
What do you think?
You know about
sprawling
Louis
ranch?
Oosthuizen's house, Doug? In Juketown?
Paul
Can I have
Goldschmidt?
initials?
Paul Goldschmidt, yeah.
Oh.
Jackson's on top of it all.
I knew he bought somebody's house. I didn't realize it was. Well, everybody buys somebody's house, but
Not necessarily.
another athlete's.
Walter Ray Williams, the great bowler, lives in Ocala, Florida.
Does he? Well, who else lives in Ocala that we're missing out?
Yeah, it sounds like it's a hotbed.
A lot of celebrities.
I knew some folks from
Hotly of
Ocala.
Florida.
I knew some folks. It seemed like a nice town.
Must be.
A lot of horses.
Yeah.
I really wish I owned a sprawling ranch.
Do you?
Yeah. I like when it's called the sprawling ranch.
Is there any other kind of ranch?
Humble.
Yeah.
Yeah. Be humble.
I have a friend who has a sprawling ranch.
I love.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Beth Dutton?
Not Beth Dutton. Who the hell is Beth Dutton?
Nice. Nice callback.
Charles S. Dutton?
What about him? Rock.
No.
And he also claps when Sean Astin, surprisingly, as a 5'6" gentleman, sacks a quarterback at the end of Rudy. Just beat that defensive line.
Yeah. Went right around.
Rudy.
Guys, I listened to QFTA with the wife yesterday, and she was surprised with Jackson's statement that he is on the lookout for group sex. She said, wasn't Jackson the guy who needed 48 hours to think about anal before performing? I guess she was just a little confused that you'd need time to think about the birthday hole, but would dive right into group sex. Great QFTA, guys. Thanks. That's from Scott's Wrinkled Ballsack. Jackson, any comments for Scott's Wrinkled Ballsack's wife, who Larry Nickel pursued an MMF with, and then there was somehow like a live CBS broadcast of it?
Right. So I'd like to preface this by saying that I respect Scott's Wrinkled Ballsack and his wife. I assume that they're just wonderful people. I've never met them. No, I have met them. What am I talking about? They are wonderful people. I just don't see the correlation between the birthday hole and group sex. You know, my issue with the birthday hole was, you know, what usually comes out of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Gerbil.
Yes, gerbils and other fun items.
Well,
but
group sex, at some point, somebody's using that hole.
you think?
So? Really? Is that
If
right?
you got enough guys in there,
No, see, that's what I'm not looking for, like a bunch of guys too.
it's what, you and 9 women?
Not 9. What classifies group sex?
Doug, what classifies group sex? You had
More
something
than
written down
three.
this morning.
I'd say 3 women. That would become group sex. Even 2.
Well, I think group sex, you have to have at least 2 dudes in there.
Well, then count me out.
That's considered group sex. If you just
So you would just only have group sex if it were you and like 8 women or something?
Well, I mean, 8 would be a little excessive.
That's a pretty good rule
you
of thumb,
gotta-
though.
That's overkill.
I mean,
but-
it's wonderful. It's just really not all that realistic. Although I've seen Plowhawks guy Manuel Ferrara in that situation quite often. I'm like, I tip my cap, and all of a sudden I'm seeing his ass get eaten, and I'm like, all right, I'm out.
That's Babe
Cap
Ruth.
back on, and I'm out.
yeah. But
I
I
don't
just
like to see guys I text with get their ass eaten. Tech T-shirt.
I'll let me write that one down. Note it. What I would say is, like, I just don't want to be in a situation with even one other gentleman, no matter how many women are in there.
If you're
And it's not kink shaming if that's like if you're into that.
But
at
I've
all.
been in the situation, and honestly, you don't think anything of it unless you got the guy at the end of the bed pleasuring himself, and that was a bit of a bad beat.
Yeah, that's probably a rare situation.
I assume you've been in that situation, right, or have you not?
What?
Come pay attention.
No, we've gone from group sex to 8 women to, I don't know which.
We're still on the group.
Robbie Benson.
We're still on the group sex, unless you want to get back to Robbie Benson.
That you've been in a situation where there's another gentleman involved. Not that you're interacting with him and mouthifying him or anything. But
Spielberg was involved.
Well, yeah.
Right.
That's right.
Well, involved, yeah, once, and that was the throw-up sink.
Oh, boy, it's like a black hole. It just
Slop
sucks.
Well, you asked, and that's the only.
Right, but I wasn't.
I mean,
Well,
I've had guys,
Spielberg-
I was assuming this was in Jamaica.
I've had guys watching. No, I've never had another guy participate in Jamaica. Always watch.
See, with 8 women, you need a tag team partner. If you need a water, you're
No, that's
cramping
fair.
up, or-
Yeah, that would be like a bullpen guy.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be bad. But if it's like soccer, I can't come back in, then I'm out. I want a chance to re-sub back in.
After a big glass of milk.
I don't know if dairy would be involved.
Gatorade, I assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a better play.
Pedialyte, honestly. Quick rehydration.
That's a nice play, too.
Yeah.
A really nice play.
Get some sodium in you.
Your activities with group sex, 314-881-TMA5. Also, your thoughts on Robbie Benson. You can call in, 636-9004-TMA. Steve Schmidt, Kia North County phone lines. And any takes you may have wanting the Blues to terminate anybody after the loss last night.
Someone has to go.
Thank you.
And the fans need to be involved with it.
Some of the fans need to go.
Well, Scott's Wrinkle Ballsack has issued a statement now in response to Jackson's. Understood. I appreciate the clarification, Boo. Also, great comparison, Plowsy. Plowsy's guy is the Babe Ruth of today's stag.
Yeah.
Do you think Babe Ruth ever had his ass eaten back in the day? Thanks, Scott.
100%.
100%.
Probably, yeah.
Really? There's a 100% chance that dude's butthole was eaten after a big meal.
Oh, come on.
No question.
Well, he probably didn't know. He would get drunk, but then he liked the prostitutes.
I don't think he would have had to go the prostitute route. He was the most famous person in America.
I
at
think
the
just
time.
for convenience.
Oh, he said.
I think he could walk in any bar in New York and probably walk out with 3 or 4.
He said that his favorite place to play baseball was when they came to St. Louis because they had the best whorehouse.
Is this live read?
Where did you see that quote?
We need to bring that back.
Oh, it was I think it was in the Big Bam book. Great book. And they should turn that into a movie.
Did a great job with the John Goodman.
But no,
Oh.
no, this is a real
Terrible.
book. This has stories that people, his friends, have opened up about that knew him and knew the family. But he said he loved coming to St. Louis because they had the best whorehouse.
There it is.
Now, can we get back on that movie for 1 second?
What are we back to now?
The John Goodman Babe movie, was it the very first scene where he popped it up in the air?
Right, on the infield, but hit it so high that the ball dropped and he was able to circle the bases for a home run.
It sounds like you had a problem with that scene.
That never happened.
None of nothing that happened in there was actually happened in real life. It was all fake, right?
Well, I don't remember the whole movie, but that certainly was.
After that scene, I'm like, this is awful.
It was
Watched
clearly
it
put
all.
on by people that knew nothing about baseball, nothing at all, and didn't bother to ask anyone who knew anything about baseball. Was this a possibility? Could this have happened? No.
That's why the Big Bam, if you ever get a chance to read the book, it's a fabulous book. And you hear stories you didn't hear before. The thing is, they made one of my favorite movies is the Babe Ruth story with William Bendix. It's a stupid movie, but I like it. But they didn't really know a lot about Babe Ruth back then because the writers didn't tell you what went on, even though they knew. So you have scenes like him hitting a dog that's on the field and running it to the hospital in the middle of a game. Stuff didn't happen. But you got to throw stuff in there to make a movie.
Guys, would Jackson reconsider group sex if the other gentleman was Marcus Denman? Doug, you remember him?
Mizzou Monster?
He had a three-quarter court three-pointer right at the end of the first half against Memphis in the Elite Eight in 2009. Is that right?
I don't know the years, Tim.
Yeah, that sounds right. Then they played Marquette next, or they played Marquette before?
UConn.
Yeah, that's
beat.
right. A shame to beat. That wouldn't change it, but I would like to have the group sex, sans Mizzou Monster, and then afterwards, have a conversation over, some sort of sheet cake with Marcus Denman
What about a charcuterie board?
about that Mizzou-Kansas game at Mizzou in 2012, and then we can share our thoughts on the blocking call that was called on Phil Pressey at Fog Allen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
which was subject a decade later.
I mean, just a clear charge if I've ever seen one. But hey, the rules are different when you play at Kansas.
Yeah, this is something Jackson and I are in lockstep with. He's probably a little more passionate about it, but it is a phenomenon.
Yeah, Mizzou should have had 2 wins against Kansas that year. They did, in my mind.
So if these girls, after one session, and you had a lot to choose from in this room, instead of taking a break and saying you're ready to go again, no, I got to go talk to Marcus Denman.
Over some sheet cake.
That sounds like one of the best nights of my life.
Nice.
If I get to have group sex and then talk to Marcus Denman.
But what if they want seconds?
Nice.
They'll have to wait until I'm done talking it over.
Mizzou Monster.
Until I feel we've fully broken it down. I'll probably bring some wireless mics.
Wow.
Make a podcast out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Might as well.
Yeah. It's killed 2 birds with 1 stone.
Doug, things are happening on this show, and we're only into the Munganess St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. Imagine what's going to come up during the Appliance Discounters 8 o'clock hour and the Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour. You can get involved in the program and try to knock off Kevin Miller, who is on the verge of winning his 2nd straight month in the Design Air Heating and Cooling Email of the Day. The winner of our Email of the Month gets Jingle Fest tickets. And Kevin Miller, with a win today, clinches no worse than a tie for the month of October. Now, Danny Tanner seems like he's making a run. You feel like he's gone vile, though.
I feel like he has. He's gone vile just lately.
JV golf coach is always dangerous. Tunnels 12,000. When he chooses to play an event, he's somebody who can sneak up and win. And keep an eye on Dr. Red Duke.
I'm Dr. Red Duke.
He has made a move. Buck Swope is now active. Buck Swope just texted me something, too.
Buckle
What's
up.
wrong?
You know who I miss? Dan Beal.
Yeah, what happened to Dan Beal?
That
Jackson says there's a guy on
Where's he
hold,
been?
but proceed with
That's John.
caution because dude's voice was super breathy. That's what my text says. What does that mean, Jackson?
He's talking to me like he was whispering sweet nothings in my ear.
ASMR.
I was like, "Are you looking for the wrist show?" Because often that's the calls that come in.
Oh.
I
If
say
it is a female calling in, 90% of the time they're looking for the Riz Show.
95%. I'll say
95%.
I'll say the Ryan Kelly morning after, and then immediately hang up.
No,
I
it's
immediately I hear nothing.
Yeah, if it's not caller Ellen, then it's
Right.
for the Rizzuto
I'd say
show.
50% of the calls are looking for.
I don't even think the Rizzo takes calls unless they do a contest. I don't-
Yeah.
I don't think they just take calls out of the blue.
Well, you're right, because when I get them, they come in bunches.
Yeah. Yeah, they know what they're doing.
Doug, they have a monster audience.
Okay.
And here we are relegated to HD2,
Right.
taking their phone calls. We're essentially their executive assistant.
I wonder if they get calls for us. For Scott.
I would short that play. Short that play.
Colorado.
Parlay anything. That's what I would do. It's the Mug and Ass St. Louis Acura Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. Jamie Burkhardt, Clayton Patterson, Peter Munganast, and the entire staff at Munganast, the absolute best, the official automotive provider of the Ryan Kelly Morning After and the Tim McKernan Show. And that reminds me, Jackson, I guess we have pick 6 today.
Yeah, want to go high noon?
Yeah, maybe. I think I'll be around to do it if the boys want to join in.
All right, I'll send
Producer
text.
Joe, Gangster Pete, G-Unit.
Whole squad.
Yeah, I wonder if the whole squad will be there.
Hope
Iggy,
so.
You going to be on?
And me?
You almost shipped a couple things last week.
Yeah, they were both leading at one point in the fourth round, the final round. And
Doug, what was that lady on the LPGA that Iggy had?
Patty Berg.
Arthur Tiddlefool.
Babe Didrikson.
No.
Zaharias.
Arthur Tiddlefool. She's from, I believe...
What?
Thailand.
Oh,
Yeah,
that
could be.
girl.
No,
What's her
she-
name?
She is.
Tithaful.
Tithaful.
Yeah, she had 9 unders for her first round.
Really?
Yeah, and then Ron was leading after 5 holes.
Maybe we should take her on as one of our
Iggy,
challenges.
you'd be surprised how difficult it was for me to find her.
Inside
name.
a minute, bink, boom, down the field. Now they're going to line up for a 44-yard field goal. And this guy for the, is it Cod? Is that how we pronounce his name? The new kicker for the Chargers? How's his last name pronounced? Do we know? I'm not sure how we pronounce his last name.
Yeah, to let that one breathe. a
I
little.
thought it was
yeah.
fairly simple, like K-O-C-O-B-B.
No, it's a
Youngway
K-O-O.
Koo?
Yeah, Koo.
K-O-O.
God.
it's so clearly KOO.
I'd imagine there isn't a former Missouri athlete who would get Jackson harder than Justin Gage, a dual sport athlete who probably has a baby's arm holding an apple for a crank. Thanks. That's from Scott's Wrinkled Ballsack.
Nah. No, not
Probably
Ju-
before your time, really.
No, I remember Justin Gage, but
Wow, that's impressive. He
No.
was on the 2002. He had a touchdown, Doug, against Kansas on October 26, 2002. Am I right on
I
that?
don't know the dates.
But earlier in the year, he dove for a ball that really changed the flow of a game. Was it against UCLA in the Elite Eight before they lost to Oklahoma because they couldn't hit their free throws in March? Is that right?
I don't know.
Was
Tim.
Jason Capono on UCLA and Missouri had recruited him?
I think so.
All right, so you agree with me.
Well, I remember that.
if we're talking Mizzou football players, William O would probably get me going.
Wow, Jackson's selecting the gentleman to participate in his orgy.
I mean, he was
the
so
world?
dynamic. He was so dynamic in the secondary.
I was always a Derek Chivas fan.
You'd like to participate in group sex with him?
What are we
No.
doing?
We're talking
What are
favorite
you talking
players. I was a big Derek Chivas fan.
In
Band-Aid
what way?
Man.
In what way, though?
I just liked the way he played.
You like the cut of his jib.
I have a three-way
had-
with
well, they
Roger
had-
Powell.
They had
Oh,
good,
that was who's going to be in yours?
Yeah, I
they had
love
good teams
Roger.
back then.
Number 43.
Yeah. They had great teams back then.
Like anybody you want to have group sex with?
No, not on the Missouri basketball roster. No, hell no.
Milliken?
I'm just different, I guess. I'm just different.
I don't know why you're playing so coy.
I watch
Don't be
basketball. And
coy.
I see basketball players. That's all I see. I really don't go any deeper than that. I'm shallow in that way.
Yeah. Selfish lover you are.
Yeah,
How about women's basketball teams?
that would be different.
Do athletes wear a jock to hold their junk or make it easier for ass eating? Thanks, Starfish. 3.
Oh,
I doubt a lot of people are still wearing jock straps. They make underwear now where you can just slip the cup into compression shorts.
Yeah, how
A jock strap is not a good look.
Well, they don't wear a cup in basketball.
Dude,
No.
the under butt like lining there, that just looks awful.
Well, you can't.
Under
You
the
can't.
butt nut hut. is
You,
what it's called.
you can't just walk around in a jock strap. I guess you can, but it's high risk.
You look pretty stupid.
But there's chafing on the thighs with that.
Yeah, I would think so too.
Not with the jock. If you have a cup in there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They don't even wear a cup in NFL football anymore.
No.
The Rams players did not wear cups.
A lot of football players don't wear
Stunned
cups.
by that. Can you imagine how much that would hurt if you're at the bottom of a pile and some 320-pound guy with his knee first fell into you? Wouldn't you be out for a quarter or more?
Popping a little testy.
Yeah, I was always stunned by that.
I remember one of my boys who was a skateboarder in high school and racked himself bad and has now a fake nut, and it was like 3 procedures and it basically exploded.
It can be very serious.
Like it was legit.
Good morning. This is the first time I've watched you extensively on YouTube. What a cute dais. We just need to get Jay in the studio. That's from Caller Ellen. How about that?
She'd like to see Jay Randolph Jr. in the studio. I
She
think
just
we all
said the
would.
letter J, so that could be Jackson. I get the feeling she always likes our producer. She like Gangster Pete?
She likes a younger guy.
I guess so. Jackson, would you like to come in the studio for Caller Ellen? Do a little dance?
We have a Cougar Rich audience.
And that's a truth.
Jackson is not...
What's up?
On the...
Oh, boy. He tuned us out again.
No, sorry, someone called it. If you ever call me and I'm not, I don't respond, it's because I'm on the phone with somebody.
Oh.
Or the bathroom.
No, I promise you that's... Well, actually, that might be the case sometimes.
Don't promise that.
But it's 99% of the time I'm on the phone.
There is nothing sexier than a man in a jockstrap. Mama likey. Doug, that's from Bill's wife, so there's another female. Man, that's amazing. This show has really become female dominant.
But
It is
why
very bizarre look.
Why did you need that garment under the butt to attach? I feel like you didn't even need that.
The garment.
Like the little, when you put the jock strap on. Remember, the string or whatever that goes under the butt.
Well, it's just kind of like the elastic in your underwear that holds your underwear in place.
But you have that elastic on top of the jock.
But you got to put a cup in there.
Oh.
Well, yeah, but you put the cup, but I don't understand why that's fastened in the back.
I think it's just to keep it in place, hold everything in place.
So weird in baseball games, when we were a kid, you had to wear these ridiculous cups for.
Oh, you have to wear a cup in
baseball.
baseball. You have to. You take a ground ball as a catcher. You take a line
Well, as
drive
a catcher,
there.
yeah.
If you're a hitter and you get hit there, it'd ruin your life.
Doug, we used to wear a cup to our high school golf matches for protection, primarily so our fellow MCC brethren would be switched on by our pubescent bulges. Doug, that's from Little Tommy Tribbins. I was under the impression he was 6 years old and on a dirt bike in the parking lot.
It's unnecessary to wear a cup in golf.
Caller Ellen is issuing a statement. So many statements coming in, I can't keep up with them. The engineer design facilities text advice. I'm not after Jackson, although I've met him and he is adorable. There you go, Caller Ellen.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Ellen.
You're adorable.
What can I say?
Despite wanting to have group sex with Marcus Denman?
No. You misheard me. I would like to have group sex sans Denman, but then talk to Denman afterwards.
Nice.
What if he can't make it for your chit chat?
Well, I still have
It's
the
still a
group
go,
sex.
or you need 48 hours to think about that.
No. Hopefully, can you join me via Skype or something?
Yeah.
I think we can arrange that.
All right. Count me in.
There it is. Doug, count me in if you're talking about Ryan Kelly, our title sponsor, online at thehomeloanexpert.com.
Well, it's because he's got a new 10-day closing guarantee. Why wait weeks to close your loan when you can close with Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert, in just 10 days? With the approval from the home loan expert, you'll be backed by a 10-day closing guarantee, making your offer even more attractive to sellers. Did you know that the home loan expert offers a 10-day closing guarantee? That means if you can't get closed in 10 days, here's what they'll do. They'll give you $1,000. Let me read that again. If you can't get closed in 10 days, they will give you $1,000. There are many lenders who are taking more than a month to close. This is just another reason to work with Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert. If they don't close your loan in 10 days or less, you get $1,000. It's a buyer's market, and that means there are deals to be made. With the 10-day closing guarantee from Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert, you'll be in the home of your dreams faster than ever. Again, if they cannot close your loan in 10 days, you get $1,000. Find out more about the 10-day closing guarantee by visiting thehomeloanexpert.com. That's Ryan Kelly, always coming up with new ways to serve the customers.
Design Air Heating and Cooling is the sponsor of our email of the day. Send yours in the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Design Air is the official HVAC provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. Go online at DesignAirService.com to schedule your furnace maintenance check right now. Doug, they're coming today, tomorrow?
I think later this afternoon.
How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they did the one at our house a week or two ago. It's the best, and it's easy, and it takes about 24 seconds to book it when you go to DesignAirService.com. Doug's a client. I'm a client. Say, friends, why don't you become a client as well? It's Design Air Heating and Cooling, the official HVAC provider of TMA and the Tim McKernan Show podcast. Go online at DesignAirService.com. This week, Friday night is pizza night with JJ Twiggs, Southampton. 20% off for TMA listeners when you let them know you listen to the Ryan Kelly Morning After. And if you post a picture of yourself at JJ Twiggs on Southampton onto the TMA fan page on Facebook, you get entered into a drawing for $100 gift certificate at JJ Twiggs. It's JJ Twiggs, Southampton. And in Jackson, we have an app contest for the Smashing Pumpkins show coming up on November 1st. What
November
do we got going
1st.
on here?
Yeah, you just you hop on to the TMA STL app, which has Balloon Party, it has the Morning After, Pepper and Genie, Tim McKernan Show, got everything you would want. All in one place, all in one simple app. You can listen live or watch the live stream right there. What you do is you create a profile in that app if you haven't already. Then you go to your profile section. There'll be a little icon there. It says App Contest Smashing Pumpkins, and all you do is hit Enter to win, and you're in there to get a chance to win some free ducats to Smashing Pumpkins on November 1st.
You like that, Doug? Free ducats.
I don't mind it. I kind of like calling it ducats.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Favorite Smashing Pumpkins song? Go. God, what do you go with?
Oh, probably their big hit.
Just a rat in a cage. I think I'm going.
Whoa.
What in the world?
Banger.
I'm not sure it's called Rat in a Cage or not, but that's the lyric in it.
Despite all my rage, I am still just a rat in a cage. That's the line, but is that the title?
Yeah, I don't think that's the name of it.
line. I'm going to say it's not the title,
I don't think
but
it
I
is
can't
the
think of the
title.
title.
I can't either.
Doug, do you go with Disarm? It takes me back to the University of Missouri. I'm banging them two at a time.
Oh, my, of course.
Drinking scotch.
Did you talk in that big voice?
I
When you
acted
met up
like I
with
was
the-
from
when you-
Manhattan.
When you met up with the Dames.
The Dames.
I'm just terrible with names. I mean, I love Paramore. I can think of one song, Misery Business. I can't think of any other song title. But I'm fans, so I just don't know names of songs.
Haley Williams.
Dig her. Hell of a performer. They love their fans.
Well,
Just
doesn't
like the
every group
Cardinals.
say they love their fans?
No, I mean, they really love their fans. They keep in touch with them. They've been doing this for like 16 years.
I bet
and
they
she's
keep in
only,
touch
like,
with the beautiful
31.
female fans.
No, she says they have email addresses from their fans that when they first started out, they still keep in touch with them. And for Misery Business, they always bring up a fan out of the audience to sing the hook.
Oh, sick.
At the end.
Do you keep in touch with any of your fans?
Yeah,
Cassidy, she keeps up with her fans, too.
I got a guy DMing me now asking me, how do you hand raise a trout or a salmon?
How do you hand raise a salmon?
Well, I had salmon last night. You have 5 pieces in there, by the way.
Oh, thank you. But
and it's-
how do you hand
Well,
raise
it's Westeros salmon.
Doug from
Westeros?
Westeros. With,
Westeros
Denarius
salmon?
Targaryen.
Nice.
Wester-
That got to be aged
West,
to
West,
perfection.
Westeros salmon, not the King's Landing thing.
That'd be so
Game
funny. if
of
they're
Thrones thing.
Dragon
but they're-
fillets.
They're hand raised in Scotland. And he asked how do you hand raise a salmon? I said, I don't know. I don't live in Scotland.
Nice.
I
Don't
think
you
it just I
put
think
it
it just
in the water?
No, I think it just means that they're not wild salmon. They're raised and they fed by hand and
Not by hand. But,
no, they have time for feeding. They throw the food in
okay,
there.
but they don't come and take it right out of their hand.
Well, if you're throwing the food in there, you're hand raising a salmon.
Okay, don't get angry.
So
Guys,
that's all I can
Paramore
tell
is
you.
like a pop punk band that emo kids listened to in high school in 2005. But you do you, Higgs. That's from the Loomster and Doug. He's up for Lister of the Year.
Well,
Okay.
they're still
Yeah,
around.
good luck.
They've still been doing it. And yeah, I mean, they play Misery Business on the Point, but I don't consider them. And I had this conversation with Donnie Fandango. I don't consider
What?
What?
We don't know.
Okay. I don't consider. Is he done? Or is he
Yeah,
taking
you've
a
done.
break
No,
there?
I got you.
I never know when he's still playing. He's just taking a break there. But I don't consider them a alternative rock band. That song may be, but other than that, I consider them like Miley Cyrus. I dig her music though.
Haley or Miley?
Both.
I did like Miley back in the day.
You're no longer a fan.
You
now
like
that she's
Hannah Montana
of age.
days?
Did you like her in Hamlet?
Yeah, I used to watch that.
Oh, bro.
Well, my niece
Pack a lunch for the next 20 minutes.
Disgrace.
my niece got me into it. My nieces got me into it.
Oh, it's not going to go well now. We do.
But she's got a voice now. She was part of the.
Coming up on Balloon Party.
She was part of the.
Breaking.
She was part of the Taylor Hawkins tribute where she got out there and sang. God, what did she sing? She killed. I think it was a Judas Priest song. Because Judas
Is
Priest.
that Rob Halford?
I don't know who that is.
Judas Priest was on the stage at the time and she sang with them. Yeah, she's got a voice.
I love Miley Cyrus.
You know what? She sings the. God, who's the girl
Don't
I
click
like?
at us. Don't click at us.
I'm trying to think who's the girl I like from Mazzy Star.
Is that Hope Sandoval?
Hope Sandoval.
Oh, yeah, she did Fade Into You.
Yeah, she sings Fade Into You. Does a pretty good job of it.
It used to be
Miley does.
Yeah.
It used to be a common 9 o'clock return song.
Yeah,
It was like a once a quarter Fade
I play
Into
it
You.
like quite a bit. But she does that song. She does it very well.
Yeah, she does. Miley Cyrus is super talented.
Yeah, she's
What
very
happened to
talented.
her in her early 20s when she went so trashy?
Well, she just, people evolve.
She wanted to get rid of the Miley Cyrus.
Well, she
image,
went a
and
little overboard.
Yeah,
with
she
that.
did. But she
I
went
disagree.
overboard.
Well, I think
Let people be people.
she started.
Child actresses and actors.
Yeah,
man,
that's you come out the other side.
You do not.
a lot different.
Yeah, you do not come out normal.
Doug, look at Gary Coleman.
But she's about the only one that went porn on. I don't
She didn't do
recall.
porn.
That's not fair.
She
Gary
went
Coleman's
close.
stepsister, Dana Plato, actually did.
With Darnell Coles.
I don't know if he was in it. I think
Oh,
it was
he
a
wasn't?
Sapphic Stag
Okay.
film.
Gary Coleman wasn't in it.
No. Kimberly, his sister in Different Strokes, was in it. And you know what the name of the film was?
No.
Different Strokes. Wow.
I think she killed herself right after being on Howard Stern. I think.
She was on Howard Stern, is that right?
I think that's who it was. She
James
talked-
Carlton texted me yesterday, friend of the show, loyal advertiser,
Great
on,
guy.
TMA and Balloon Party, and he said, we talked about Stern doing these interviews from, he's not going into New York City anymore, he just does his show from his house on Long Island, and he is breaking that 2-year streak to come into studio because for the first time ever, Bruce Springsteen's going to be on the show. How about that? And James is a huge Bruce Springsteen
Really,
fan.
first time ever.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe.
Dude, Bruce Springsteen.
That's an interview I'll listen to. I bet that goes 2.5 hours.
He is a legend.
Be shorter
And
than
he's still
his
putting
concerts.
on, yeah, that's what I was to say. He puts on shows at
like 3 hours long.
Is he
3.5
worth $1 billion
hours.
yet? He got to be close.
He just sold all of his rights to his music for like $500 million or $700 million. So yeah.
Yeah, I thought what he has done, because I don't love his music per se, but like he is a boss. I love him.
I love his music, and I went to the last show I went to. I think we left early. We were actually getting tired. God, he's been playing for 3 hours. My God, it's enough. Actually, we had enough.
You had enough of the boss. James
You
Carlton
left.
might pull his sponsorship.
Well, I've
here
seen
and
it.
there.
I've seen it before, but it was like, oh God, it's just. I've been sitting here for almost over 3 hours.
How old is he now? He's got to be 75 or so.
I'm going to take the under on 75, but I'm going to take the over on 70. Here's my math. That's dangerous.
He is 73 years young.
Boy, and he still puts on a show like it's nobody's business.
From Long Branch, New Jersey.
I guess Stevie Van Zandt's still with him.
He's worth $780 million.
Silvio.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
780.
Seth Goldcamp texted me the name of the song, Iggy, Bullet with Butterfly Wings. Thank you, Seth.
Is that it?
That's what I'll text him. Thank you, Seth. There it is. The text just got sent. And Buck Swope, Jackson says Mr. Fix is on hold.
Oh, no, we're good.
Yeah.
Oh.
He left.
I can't
Fortunately.
anymore. Only one every 2 weeks.
You can do one every 2 weeks on Mr. Fix?
A little
Back to
goes a
back.
long way.
What's your pacing for Mr. Licks for caller Adam?
Colorado can call in every day. Licks
All right, there you
is a one a week. Actually, he's probably on the Fix plan. So, like, the week Mr. Fix isn't calling in, that's when Mr. Lick can come in and play.
Okay.
Every other week for each. Nice.
Favorite,
Seems reasonable.
best concert you ever been to?
I saw Hove and Kanye in 2011 in Las Vegas, and that was the bee's knees. They did Ed Bombs in Paris like 12 times to end the show. That stands out to me.
Yeah, that'd be a good show. Back when Kanye was actually doing things.
Right. Well, he's doing a lot now. It's just not
Well, yeah,
necessarily
just
Things.
things.
Yeah, I miss the old Kanye.
Me too.
He's doing some things he should probably stop doing.
I'm trying to think. I haven't been to many concerts. I'm kind of
Me too,
weak in
but
that department.
I watched a 4-hour Tool concert, and they randomly came to Peoria, and it was the best thing I have ever witnessed.
Is that right? They just randomly came to Peoria like it was a pop-up show?
I don't know if it was a pop-up show, but it was a late entry on their tour, and we were able to get tickets, me and my Pizza Hut crew, because there's one delivery driver who was, I know, Jackson, I know, but I was also 18.
The Pizza Hut crew.
Yeah, one of the drivers was a huge fan, so we'd jam out to Tool in the back while doing dishes, and so I became a fan, went to the show, and it was unbelievable. Like, it was tremendous.
Nice.
One of those can't miss and glad I didn't miss it type deals.
Doug, what's your answer? Go.
I haven't been to many either. I enjoyed Kenny Chesney just this past year at Busch Stadium. I thought he
Good
was
performer.
Great. Yeah.
Johnny Mathis maybe back in the 90s.
Never saw Johnny Mathis. Chances are that you'll air a silly grin the moment you come into view.
Have you seen Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Yeah.
Have you?
Yeah.
I think that'd be a fun show.
Yeah.
I saw like their last song before they opened for Santana. I just didn't really care to see him, so
I love their music, though. I'm weird.
Guys, I saw Mac Miller at the pageant 2016 best show. That's from Big Don Johnson.
I think the
late Mac Miller did.
Yeah,
The 20 show is whoever you enjoy the most.
Yeah, the 2013 one was the best because he brought Chance the Rapper before he blew up, and Vince Staples and Action Bronson. That was awesome.
I think a lot of people, though, there's a certain energy where you feel like the artist or artists are feeling it as well with the venue and the people who are there, and you can just kind of tell that there's something going on. Like, I remember I went to a Killer show. God, I don't remember what venue it was, in 2009, and Brandon Flowers started, like, scolding the audience for not being into it. This probably isn't one that they're going to remember forever.
Yeah.
Venue's a big part of it, too. Like, the pageant, I think, is, like, a better venue because it's a little more intimate than, like, an arena show.
I watched the Michigan Ears at the pageant, which
The Michigan Ears.
Michigan Ears or Michiganers or whatever it was. They were just a smallish band. They were opening for a bigger band, and they were unreal. They had like a lot of different like kind of old school country style instruments there as well. Yeah. Like, you know, I don't know what they're called. It kind of like that. Dude, I'm telling you, I think there was a washboard. I couldn't.
I like a good wash. I want to go see a concert at Red Rocks. That's a bucket list.
That's the play.
Yeah, it's.
You've been
there? Yeah, I've seen like 3 concerts.
Oh, really?
That's
What
awesome.
Have you seen?
Big Head Todd, I saw.
BHTM, Doug.
I saw U2 there, and I can't think of who.
You saw
the third.
U2 at Red Rocks?
Oh, that would be incredible.
That's pretty insane.
Wow.
That's back when I liked them.
I know. I used to be so into them, and I'm totally sour.
And
Jackson, you sent a link over about that this
Yeah.
week, right?
Bono took responsibility for the iTunes thing.
When they just automatically gave their album and
Right.
downloaded it to everyone who had an iPhone's phone.
Yeah.
That was a part of it. Yeah, I was such a fan, and I don't know what the hell happened. They were in St. Louis a couple of years ago, and my wife said, "You want to go?" And I said, "Honestly, no." We saw them in Chicago and Vegas and St. Louis, and I had no interest now. I don't know what the hell happened. Doug, I don't know what happened.
I don't know what happened.
I guess it's kind of like the in thing right now to hate on them, but I think that iTunes thing played a role in it.
Oh, big time. People were like, this is such a weird, like, privacy thing where, like, I didn't ask for this. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like, similar to Pepper and Genie, you can just not listen.
Whoa.
But, like, it was ahead of its time because Apple Music is essentially everything's downloaded on your phone already.
You think there's a chance Apple will force Pepper and Genie on everyone at some point?
Wouldn't that be funny? The new iPhone 15.
I'll call Tim Cook up, see if we can't broker that.
He listens.
But I went to Red Rock, just not in a concert. We were in Colorado. I could imagine that venue being unreal in terms of perfect sound, like the energy you could probably tell, and just the atmosphere looked unbelievable.
Dave Chappelle played there one year, and I really wanted to go because me and my friends were thinking of going to Colorado and seeing, and like part of it was going to go see Dave Chappelle.
I saw Chappelle at the pageant, like back in the early aughts.
Like in the Chappelle Show days?
It might have been before the Chappelle Show.
Wow.
Oh.
That's awesome.
He was just an up-and-comer?
He's probably like 21.
No, I mean, he certainly had it. He just wasn't at the level he is now. And it was pre-Chappelle Show, so it was... I mean, I felt like the Chappelle Show thing, he was big. And then he got a bunch of attention when he left the show and left a bunch of money on the table. And then he came back, and now he's, in that hashtag Mount Rushmore category.
Yeah, I can't think of anybody that's bigger than him right now as far as comedians.
Well, Dave Chappelle, the Chappelle Show is like my child. Like, that was like, middle school, high school for me. I watched so much of that. And you didn't have skit comedy back. You didn't have Key and Peele. Like, this was kind of first of its kind for me, at least, with like the skit comedy stuff. And that was
Were there bits or sketches?
I think there were a little bit of both, which I thought was great.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe you saw U2 at Red Rocks, though.
Yeah, that's
Nikki Glazer's coming. New Year's Eve, she's doing a show at, God, where's she doing it? The pageant, maybe?
Doug, where is she doing the show?
I don't know.
No freaking love
We could
pageant.
ask her, but
She's
I'm sure
doing-
you're too nervous.
Well, she just posted she's doing a New Year's Eve show here. So you can bring in the New Year's with Nikki Glazer. I probably won't, but
No.
I'll be on my couch.
Why wouldn't you go?
I don't go out on New Year's Eve.
Why not? It's for the amateurs, right? I'm too much of a pro. I can't mingle with the amateurs on New Year's Eve.
No, I've said for many years, I don't need a reason to drink.
I don't like those holidays because, there's a bunch of cops out. Like, I
You
don't like
have to drink. You don't have to drink a lot.
What about Uber, brah?
Yeah, but Uber, Jack, to me, Uber is it's a great tool, but they know how to jack up prices. And I'm sure
Dynamic
New Year's
pricing,
Eve, right after midnight, you're talking a $50 fare. So.
Yeah, it's probably in that. But with Lyft too, like you can kind of shop prices on that.
Yeah, very true.
But Uber, every single time I would take an Uber over driving. I mean, it's not even a question.
Yeah.
I'll pay the $60 Uber as opposed to possibly get pinched on a DUI.
You like that pinch deal?
I didn't like it.
I think it's a
sounds
good
like he's
time.
been arrested 50 times.
Well, I mean,
good morning.
Cheese it, it's the fuzz. We're going to get pinched.
Guys, has Ken gotten over the sting of not being invited to dinner by Learn? He's definitely still pouting about her not inviting him into the KC studio, but inviting Tim. Time for a long, steady gaze out the window and a slurp into the microphone of coffee leather. That's from Big Tuft.
Well, here, I'll do it just for you, buddy.
Okay, let's see the slurp. Drinking the coffee now, slowly, carefully.
Learn.
See, exhale.
Oh, he said
Learn.
Yeah, I mean, that's why the creep thing will never go away, because people actually think I'd be upset because she's going to dinner with Tim and Anna Marie and didn't invite me. Yeah, I'm shocked I didn't get an invite with two couples to go have dinner. Yeah, let's bring Iggy.
But you can still go and sit at another table and just stare at them.
I'll ask Tim when they're going, and I may get on.
I don't know. She said we got to go to dinner. Bring Anna Marie and Tim, and we'll talk about. We were talking about a wide variety of things. I said, hey, let's do it. I'm all for it. Anna Marie's parents watch our sons, and so Saturday night, oftentimes I get a chance to get out. Went to the Blues game last night.
I did see that picture. Cool.
Why
Yeah.
don't you take him to Charcoal House?
Why don't I take Jameson to Charcoal House?
No,
Learn and her
go to
husband.
Charcoal House. You're the youngest people in there by about
Is
30
that right?
years. Yeah.
Yeah, no, young Page Views asked me, I think I said that on the air yesterday. I don't know if I did or not. Maybe I did. Hell, I don't know.
You started to talk about him being in the studio, and somehow I probably hijacked into something else, and we never got to the
I
story.
don't know how you stopped midway and go, oh, probably me.
Yeah, I probably hijacked something. But you were talking about he was in the building. And
Yeah, he
I
was
don't
in
think
the
we
building
finished
last
that.
week. Well, he wants to do an interview about everything that's going on.
Oh, he does want to open up about it.
Yeah. But he wants to do it on the podcast. And I said, sure, man. And he was going to do it on Monday, but I think he has some, I don't know, for the purpose of video, he wanted to check out the studio. And so that's why he was in last week. But anyway, he was the one, so that hasn't, we haven't done it yet. So
I
that'll be a lot.
guarantee you.
That will be, what were you about to say, sir?
I think you will get close to 1 million views on that podcast.
I honestly think about it, and it's kind of like how I handle social media. I'm not really interested in at the same time, though, like with the Mizzou thing last week, I didn't care and found it amusing, so I guess if I just get attacked, what does it matter? It doesn't matter. But I will be the bad guy but it's not like I'm just going to be asking questions. He's the one telling the story. I don't know what the hell. I honestly don't know what happened.
Yeah, nobody does. And for him to...
But there's a couple different elements to it, and it's his story to tell, and also on top of it, what he wants to say. So anyway, I don't know. We're going to do this, but he invited me to go to the game last night, and he had 2 tickets from a friend of his who plays on the Blues. And I said, man, during the week I go to bed, I start popping pills at 8:30, and I'm asleep ideally by 9:30, and get up at around 5. And then he texted me and said he felt sick, and he didn't want the tickets to go to waste. So he said, I know you can't stay out late, but if you just want to take Jameson for a period or two, then I said, all right, God bless. So that's why I wound up going. And I texted Kerber, about going up into the booth, because this was Jameson. It was only his second game, and it's the first time me and him had just gone. And now he's kind of gotten into hockey. He's going to play on the Little Blues, and that little. Are you aware of that thing, Doug? Was that around when your sons were younger?
The Little Blues.
The Little Blue. It's a way to learn the game. It's not like a team, but he likes to skate, and so it's fine with me. I didn't play. He could outskate me now. I never skated, so I have no clue, and I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, it's important to start as young as you can.
He started skating at 4. But anyway, so he's gotten in the game, and so I went up there and saw generous executive Mike Caruso.
He's so generous.
He is.
Yeah.
Stunned. Hadn't seen me since. He goes, we still have your chair from Channel 4 over there from
really
17 years ago. And Claves and Dan O'Neill of the Blues Media Team and Richie.
Oh,
Yankowski,
yeah.
sure,
Crowd's
still there. He was there when I was doing
It's a great
television.
team.
It's a great group of people.
Claves was there?
No, I think he was just at the game.
Oh, I thought you were naming off all these Blues execs, and I thought you got another job.
No.
You and Claves, I just feel like we need to broker a peace treaty or something. No, it was wonderful to see them all. I hadn't, since when you don't leave your basement, you don't really see people.
Yeah, I don't either.
I hate people.
I don't hate people. I
I'm
don't leave my
kidding.
basement. So it was great. It was a great night. Saw a lot of listeners. That was super cool. A guy who, Doug, came up to me and said he was looking for a home, and it was in your neighborhood last year, and he nearly bought it when he saw you outside doing some yard work.
You're kidding.
I swear to you.
They have your shirt off?
Can you imagine?
Probably.
I actually asked that question, and his wife or girlfriend said, "Oh my God, he loves the show." And we looked at a house, and you got to tell him you wanted to buy it because it was across the street from Doug.
Oh, I do most of my yard work naked, and it sells houses very quickly.
Can you
The
imagine?
neighbors are
You doing some
extremely
tilling?
appreciative.
You doing some tilling?
I'll do tilling, yeah.
I'm just
Weed
thinking
eating?
about paying $50,000 over ask, and the only reason for that is because you're the neighbor.
Vaughn tax.
Good investment. The Vaughn tax.
Is that hard to believe?
I have a
We
weed
hate
eater.
this house, but hey, the guy's naked across the street. Let's move it.
Did you wet your beak on that one, Doug?
Yeah.
Take a little of the
Wet your
commission.
beak. I like that.
Take a little of that commission off.
Guys, I'm honestly worried about Ken after seeing his reaction to the Tim and Learn dinner news yesterday. But let's hear more about how you were waiting on Olive for Learn to turn in with your Hubbard hat on. What does that mean? That's from glove blogger Tom Traven. Doug, you wrote a new blog on gloves.
Well, sure he did.
Waiting to do what with my Hubbard hat on?
Let's hear more about how you were waiting on Olive for Learn to turn in with your Hubbard hat on.
No, I was outside smoking. If you know anything about this building, which you don't, because you're probably not allowed anywhere near here. Out back where Plowsy and I park.
The mulch.
I was just.
That's where you guys smoke? That you guys call it the mulch?
Well, we're standing in mulch. I mean, what else to call it?
Is that where you're supposed to smoke? I'm surprised.
that is.
Yeah, we've gotten
Surprised me. They said, "Go, boys, stand over there in the mulch."
They've been relegated to the mulch.
There's a curb right there with a generator, and it's covered by mulch. You don't have to stand in the mulch.
You're probably making more mulch as you throw your cigarettes down and everything.
Well, I put
Well,
it
there's
in
an
the
ashtray.
pit,
There's
yeah.
an ashtray right there, Doug. That's why you smoke there.
Oh, you just got scolded a little bit.
No, I didn't like
Well,
that.
we're not
hurt.
throwing it on the ground. But yeah, I was standing there, and I can't see a lot of these. When they pull in, I just wave to anybody because most of them have like dark windows. A lot of the new cars now they're not really blacked out, but they're so dark you can't see in there. So in case it's somebody that I know who works here and thinks I'm a snob by not saying anything, I just kind of wave when somebody goes by. And Lauren stopped and rolled the window down. Goes, "Don't leave. Stay right there." So she parked and came out. She goes, "Look at you, all Hubbard, the Hubbard hat. I got to get a picture." And she took a selfie. And then we walked in together. I didn't wait for anybody.
Highlight of your week, month, year, life.
Oh, God almighty.
Can we talk
You're as
about
bad as the listeners.
Arbor Day's text? What is Iggy going to be doing standing outside of all of them?
Covering himself in
Covering
gasoline.
himself in gasoline.
And they called the gentleman a turbo simp.
I can't get over
Turbo Simp. Who wants that texted next to it?
That was pretty good.
That was such a great one because the visual imagery of it.
Guys,
right.
I've got $1,000 that says Iggy gave a sad sympathy talk last night after hearing about that dinner. That's from Father Brown. Dougie's over in Belleville.
This dinner's really got you down, doesn't it?
It does. I come in next week. So sad. The funny thing is, Lauren will probably hear this, or somebody will tell her, and she goes, "We better ask Iggy, Tim. Let's ask him about the dinner one time. He's really upset."
Would you go now for the sympathy ask?
No.
What's a sympathy tug?
I don't need to
Like
feel
what?
sorry for myself to do that.
Are you crying during it? Like what?
I tried to watch a Maitland Ward last night. It wasn't very good.
You watch what now?
I tried to watch a Maitland Ward, and it didn't do it for me.
Is that right? Was it Girl, bro?
No, solo. I don't know.
Hey,
That's it.
go back and get him tonight, Blue Note. Don't let this one get you down.
Yeah, tough, Doug.
Pull yourself up by the
Slow
bootstraps.
schedule, and now what? 4 and 6 nights.
Yeah, we'll break out of this scoring drought.
Skate boy, skate. No Sadzi or Bruce.
Or
Space Nevich.
Nevich, yeah.
Pavel.
I need to get a Nevich jersey.
Bruce?
Somebody created a Bruce Nevich T-shirt. Jackson didn't think it would sell.
I don't think it would.
I don't know.
It's like an inside joke that I said Bruce Nevich
The whole
instead
show
of.
is an inside joke.
Yeah, but
I think like a month, another month of us mentioning Bruce Nevich, and it'll catch a little more fire. Right now, some people might not even know like what that means.
maybe we can get him to wear it.
I'd bet against that.
Yeah, probably he may be a good guy. I never met him.
Well, another.
You can be a good guy and not want to wear something that says Bruce Nevich on it.
But Danny Packer made. I thought another funny inside joke shirt was a Bailey's
You
shirt.
got some apple pie on your lip.
Oh, is that right? Did
Really?
he send that in?
Like crow.
No,
Or is
he.
that on like the fan page?
It came out. He came out with an idea on the fan. There was no sketches or anything, but it would just be like you could barely see the word Bailey's in it, and like because it's usually blacked out. I thought that was funny, but it wouldn't sell. So I think the inside joke shirts are really funny, but those would have to be like limited. Well, again, before the show, we were talking about the 3/4 zip, and I think that would sell like crazy, but you couldn't make 1,000 of those to try to sell them. But showing the navel off, just zipping down to the navel, that.
Oh yeah, you have to like create something new with that.
Yeah.
There's half zips. I've seen a half zip before.
Those are cool. And thank you to Mark Hanna for these nice polo zips.
Mark Hanna, Evergreen Wealth Strategies.
What a beast.
He brought in. Jackson, why don't you tell the people about Mark Hanna? He's at evergreenstl.com.
Sure, yeah. A big thing about saving up money or having a financial guy is the communication. It's about being able to talk to the person because it can be intimidating. This is a big step in your life. If you're saving up for retirement, kids' college fund, maybe just like something simple like a vacation, it can still be intimidating. But working with someone who's such a great communicator like Mark Hanna is so important. That's the difference right there. Is being able to hop on the call with Mark Hanna. He explains everything very eloquently, very educated. But if you're like me and you're not very in the know on these financial things, what Mark Hanna does, he explains it to you, he maps it all out, and then it's up to you to make that choice. And then if you have a problem down the line, you can get in touch with Mark Hanna, get on a call with him, and he'll get you straightened out. So, Mark Hanna, while, really, really intelligent when it comes to the finances and the strategies, he's also such a great communicator. And that's the difference. So if you don't have anybody, get in touch with Mark Hanna. It's a great decision. If you already have somebody, consider making the switch over. I think you're going to be really happy that you did.
314-889-0503 or go online at evergreenstl.com. That's Mark Hanna of Evergreen Wealth Strategies. I would like to recommend the great Tommy Sabolka of VIP Auto Accessories, and he wants you to know you can call him or email him directly, and he will help you through the process of doing business with VIP Auto Accessories because they are your one-stop shop for van and truck upfitting for commercial fleet vehicles. Call him directly, 314-428-3900. Let him know you're a TMA listener, or you can email him directly at tommy.cibulka at VIP Auto Accessories. VIP is the biggest secret in its industry. Now they are promoting their service for all to hear and to take advantage of the VIP quality and convenience. They're all local since 1979. Once employees start working there, they don't stop. They have people who've been working there for 35 years, 41 years, 42 years, and the company's only 43 years old. Design Air does business with them. Munganess St. Louis Acura, Alton Toyota does business with them. It's VIP. Call Tommy directly, 314-428-3900, or email him at tommy.sabolka at VIPAutoaccessories.com. It is 8:11 in St. Louis. Time to shut down our Munganess St. Louis Acura, Alton Toyota 7 o'clock hour. Send your emails in for our Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour the morning after at InsideSTL.com. Book a sound story for the holidays, mysoundstory.com. And line up me, line up Doug, line up Jackson, line up Learn from KC95 and come into the Hubbard studios and have it professionally produced, or you can do it over Zoom for convenience. That is your call, mysoundstory.com. Coming up, the Cardinals with some big announcements yesterday. We'll hear from John Mozeliak, give our thoughts on Adam Wainwright's return, Mike Maddox gone, Jeff Albert gone. Your thoughts are welcome. 314-881-TMA5 or calling in the Steve Schmidt Kia North County phone line 636-9004-TMA. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios.
Okay. Hot takes.
Yeah. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Stroh. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at TMASTL.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT-FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
Hey, it's Jackson for Rosalita's. TMA listeners know that's always a great time to gather at Rosalita's. Why not start off with a happy hour Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m.? Enjoy happy hour specials including $3 off of appetizers like the wildly popular Carne con Cerveza, marinated steak cooked to order and served on a sizzling skillet. The patio is heated and covered, plus Rosalita's offers live music on Thursdays and mariachi every weekend. Check out rosalitascantina.com or visit the downtown or DePere location today. Time to get your fiesta on at Rosalita's.
With the fall's cooler weather upon us, we hope you'll let Lime Concrete Block help you with all of your landscaping projects. They've been a locally owned and operated manufacturer since 1947, priding themselves on their quality of their products and the customer service they provide. Lime Block offers a complete line of fireplaces, outdoor living kits, decorative retaining wall blocks, ready-mix concrete, masonry block, as well as concrete parking curbs and air conditioning slabs. Please visit their showroom off South Broadway at 326 East Courtois or visit them online at limeblock.com.
There's a lot of common sense and Western wisdom like don't squat with your spurs on and always drink upstream from the herd. And there's also some Western wisdom that's less common, like never steal from a bear, which you can't make for yourself, or a man doesn't know his worth until he's eye to eye with a rattlesnake holding a toad. I'm sure there's a good lesson in there somewhere, but there's one lesson that is perfectly clear. Fistful of Bourbon is an award-winning blend of 5 straight bourbons and as smooth as a banker on Friday. Get wise, pick up a bottle a day, don't be a damn fool. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by William Grant & Sons, New York, New York.
Nothing says barbecue like Naven's Barbecue. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or a family gathering, Naven's Barbecue has an extensive menu for any palate. From slow-smoked Texas-style brisket to award-winning smoked chicken wings. All Naven's Barbecue is wood-smoked, and all their meat is from local and regional farmers. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook for daily specials and holiday meal packages. Stop by their location at the intersection of Grand and Arsenal in South City today for the best barbecue in the STL. Online at navensbbq.com. That's NAVINSBBQ.com.
This is Tim McKernan. I'd like to tell you about a company I started just a couple of years ago and I still own. And it's called Sound Story. It's essentially a 1-hour interview that we do either in person or via Zoom with mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers. They come in and they tell their stories, education, growing up, and of course, family stories, the wisdom that they can share with their loved ones for generations to come. It's an audio heirloom. It's Sound Story. To learn more, go to mysoundstory.com.
Ryan Kelly, the home loan expert, is with us. Ryan, rates are still going up. Is it a good time to buy a house still?
Absolutely, Doug. It truly is. We have a saying at the home loan expert office. You marry the house, you date the rate. You know, you fall in love with the house. You're going to be there for a while. But the mortgage, you're probably going to refinance that along the way. Let me give you a great explanation of how this is a perfect time to buy a home. Let's say the house is for sale for $400,000. A year ago, with multiple offers, you might have had to spend $450,000 or $475,000 to buy that house. But now, officially a buyer's market, you might be able to get that same house for $350,000. So homes are selling for less, and that's great. Now, mortgage rates are up, but don't let that scare you. Again, you marry the house, you date the rate. Mortgage rates will come back down at some point, and at thehomeloanexpert.com, we will refinance you with no fees to help keep that payment down. So again, it's a great time to buy a home. Don't let a little higher interest rate scare you. We'll refinance you without fees when the time's right. So, got questions? Ready to get pre-approved? Visit thehomeloanexpert.com.
Remember sitting around at parties in the 90s, singing along to all the current alternative rock songs?
Wanna go for a ride?
Even when you didn't know the words? Well, you can relive the magic when Smashing Pumpkins come to town with Jane's Addiction, Tuesday, November 1st at Enterprise Center. And you can do it for free. Just log into the TMA app or at TMASTL.com. Enter the contest. Smashing Pumpkins, November 1st at Enterprise Center. Tickets on sale now. Find out more at tmastl.com. Now, back to the Ryan Kelly Morning After on KPNT HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis.
Nice.
That's a guy. Gal. That's your son made look.
Ba, ba, ba.
God.
Just wonderful.
Oh.
That would be the best concert we ever go to.
Yeah. Do they ever come to town?
I think they play Ellen Fitzgerald's third Saturday every.
Well, that place is always packed. No wonder.
Well, I'll stop by and get Wingy Wingy. I might get Wingy Wingy from there now that I've thought about it.
Yeah. Gosh.
I like that Wingy Wingy.
I drive by the place every day, and every single night it is
true.
packed. Packed.
It is true. It's always a pony.
I know.
This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After. We are in the Michelob Ultra studios, and it's the Appliance Discounters. 8 o'clock hour. Timothy, Michael, McCurran, Douglas Elvin, Vaughn, the Plowhawk, Action Jackson. He is out on assignment right now, but when he comes back, he will have journalism crafted and prepared for you. So yesterday, the breaking news starts while we are on the air in our Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour with Adam Wainwright and Derek Gould's report that he is returning for the 2023 season. But then John Mozeliak, for what was a scheduled press conference, had some more major news, and I think this is what more people are actually talking about, and that is the changes in the coaching staff. So you knew that Skip Schumacher was leaving to go be the Marlins manager, but in what I would consider a surprise, Mike Maddox. Doug, do you call him Mad Dog when you see him? Hey, Mad Dog, what do you think of the staff?
I don't know him well enough. Isn't that kind of uncomfortable when you don't really know someone and you want to call him his nickname like everybody else to sound cool?
I don't understand how the media has gotten to a comfort level with Adam Wainwright where we're calling him Wayno.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, when I sat down with Craig Berube for my podcast after they won the Cup, and we had never met, mainly because he hasn't been to my basement, and therefore he can't see me. Also, there's a height situation. And I said, I'm told that everybody calls you Chief, but I feel a little weird doing it. He goes, I don't know. People call me Chief. Call me Chief. I go, all right, sounds good, Chief. And away we went. But I felt like I needed the permission.
Yeah, you do.
It's like when I had Bill DeWitt in. And Jackson, I guess you weren't working on the show at that time. So Gangster Pete was dealing with about 98-degree temperatures in the podcast studio.
Is that when he was weeping?
He was sweating, and it looked like tears.
Got it.
And when we started, I said, everybody calls you Mr. DeWitt, but I got to be honest with you, I'm a little uncomfortable calling you that. But if you want me to call you Mr. He goes, Bill's fine. I said, sounds good.
Oh, that's good.
Bill it is.
I remember once in the Blues locker room years ago, Malcolm Briggs tried to get an interview with Adam Oates, and he said, Oatesy. And Oates turned around and looked at him and said, my name is Adam.
A T-shirt.
Well, it's the same with Steen.
Steener?
Alex. Call me Alexander.
Oh.
And everyone called Brett Hull Hully for a while. Yeah, I just don't think that's appropriate either for the media. We're not supposed to be their friends.
Doug, we're the 7th estate? Is that what it is?
Fifth estate.
We moved back a few estates.
Yeah.
So Jeff Albert is gone. Mike Maddox, gone. And, of course, Skip Schumacher is gone to manage the Marlins. And this is a development I candidly didn't see coming. Now, John Mozeliak talked about it yesterday. Here is what he had to say regarding Albert and Maddox leaving.
Both have their own separate narrative. I think in Mad Dog's case, he's just done it for so long. He's just really looking for a change of pace. I think in Jeff's particular case, I think there was some levels of frustration and, feeling like took a lot of the blame when things weren't going well. And for him, I think he's just open to change.
Okay.
And then what did he say on Jeff Albert?
Oh, that was what we got right there.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So he said, I'll paraphrase on the Jeff Albert thing. He was offered a contract, but Mozeliak said before he could even get the offer on the table, he said he was not coming back. And again, paraphrasing, he said that Albert was growing tired of the criticism from the outside in.
A lot of it on social media, or maybe most of it on social media, or all of it. He must have another job lined up, because I don't think they pay those guys enough that you're ready for retirement. When Albert's
I have
not
no
a
idea.
guy.
Do you have any idea what Albert was? I have no clue what Albert was making.
A couple hundred, maybe. That'd be my guess. I know the baseball coaches don't make what you think they make in a lot of other sports, anyway. But I could understand Maddox, who's an older guy. He's probably ready for retirement. But Albert is not very old.
No, he's 41, I think.
Yeah, you wouldn't think that he would quit a major league job unless he's got another one lined up.
I'll say this, and I understand it, I suppose, but to quit a job as a Major League Baseball coach over social media criticism, I'm not saying it's not true. It just is surprising.
Yeah, I've never heard anyone admit that before, that criticism got to him to the point where you quit a Major League job.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about it.
The only thing that makes sense is if a week from now we hear that he's got a job somewhere else.
Now, what if Mike Maddox winds up going and being a pitching coach somewhere else?
I'd be kind of surprised. I don't know how you could fault much of what you've seen from the Cardinal pitching in the last few years. I mean, he got an awful lot out of Montgomery and Quintana when they came over.
I'm saying, I think when you have this much change, you certainly understand the Schumacher one. Can't fault him at all for that, or the Cardinals for that. But just for the purpose of having the conversation. But then listen, I'm on board with the Jeff Albert move. I don't understand. That was a weird thing. And that the whole comments yesterday about he was tired of the criticism and that he did the job he was hired to do when the Cardinal offense, granted, it's a sample size of, really 3 games. I just don't recognize the Padres thing in 2020, but I suppose if you want to get into that. But, the Dodgers game last year and then the 2 games against the Phillies that they slumped in the postseason, but that's when you face the best pitching. That he was the hitting coach when the Cardinals did go into the tank in September and did go into the tank against the Phillies. But Mozeliak, that was his guy. And so he had a defender where it really mattered. And so kind of who cares about the criticism on social media? That's why it just strikes me as odd. Now, those aren't Albert's words. I don't know if he'll be doing an interview talking about it, but if you do have him leave to go to another job and Maddox leave to go to another job when the Cardinals want to keep Maddox but just in a different role, that would be something that I think would be eye-opening. In other words, do people not want to work for the Cardinals, whether it be Mozeliak, whether it be Marmel? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, it could be. That's an awful lot of change after one pretty much successful year. It could be Marmel wants his own guys in there, that these guys were all there before he got there.
I'd be surprised if Mozeliak would say something that is patently false, like I was going to offer him another deal, and then Albert come out and go, no. Because then, you see what I'm saying? Like, if Marmel wanted him out, then Mozeliak's not offering him another, contract extension.
Yeah. Well, these guys do have, friends all over the game, and if they think there's a better situation somewhere else, just because we think the Cardinals is the only place anyone should ever want to work, then they probably will do what Albert's doing. I would fully expect him to land somewhere else. Maddox, you just don't know. With his age, he may have made enough money.
He's not that old, though.
No, but he probably made a lot of money.
Sure.
He was also a major leaguer at one point. He's probably got plenty of money to shut her down at this point.
Hell of a golfer.
Is he? Oh, yeah, you got the 2 hole-in-ones on one. Yeah. And by all accounts, a great guy that everybody seems to like. That would, it's not an easy lifestyle for anyone. And if you're 61 years old and you've been doing it for 40 years and you've got several million in the bank, I could see where you might say it's time to shut it down.
What did Eversgerd do?
He pitched in the majors.
No, what was his job title?
Bullpen? Wasn't he the bullpen coach?
Bullpen guy? Okay.
And what did that prove?
Well, I don't know why you're making a move there. I mean, he's in the bullpen. Unless he was Maddox's guy and he's worked with Maddox's pitchers, I guess. But I never heard of a bullpen coach getting let go.
Oh, well, it happens, I guess.
I mean, I'm guaranteeing this isn't the only time a coach or somebody has left because of criticism from the fans or whatever. I still find it shocking, but to say that, it doesn't do you any favors.
Yeah, it just ratchets it up more. It gives the people that are the trolls.
Now the fans think they have absolute control of this. It's going to get much worse in terms of criticism with players and GMs and coaches on social media than there ever has been, because now you know it works. Like, you don't say that. Like, you just flat out don't say it.
Yeah.
Say what, similar to Mad Dog. He wanted to change the pace. You know, he wanted to try out something new.
It was a little bit eye-opening last year when Tommy Edman came out and said, we feel like we're not prepared sometimes. Remember that quote that he had? I'd never heard a player say that before, which led people to believe that Albert wasn't doing something that he should have been doing in terms of preparing video or preparing hitters for facing certain pitchers. That's kind of what I took from that.
Well, just look at the batting averages and things like that. I mean, you're talking Carlson with such a regression. You got, O'Neill injuries, I get it, but every position was slumping. I mean, and you talk about Arenado and Goldschmidt. They don't need hitting coaches. Those guys are pros, Hall of Famers. You don't need Jeff Albert saying, hey, get your shoulders across.
Yeah, I thought that initially, and I'm not saying that I don't think it now, but Adam Wainwright, was not injured, as it turns out. It was a mechanical issue, per his words, that he had shortened his stride for his delivery, and that played a role in what was a substantial decline. I think he was the Cardinal #1 starter in the playoffs if the playoffs would have started in mid-August, and then wasn't even in either one of the games. And I just can't imagine that Paul Goldschmidt lost his ability in a year in which he most likely will be the MVP. But he was bad. I mean, he was bad. He was a liability in most of the month of September. Yeah. And I'm telling you, it got to a point, and even though that was only 18 innings of baseball, where I was thinking, God, they might have to think about pulling him, if there's a key situation in a game, which sounds ridiculous, but that's where it was. And either hurt or there had to be some kind of mechanical issue. He just exhibited zero confidence. And he was saying that even midway through September, I can recall watching him interviewed on the field, and the Cardinals, I think, swept a doubleheader from maybe the Reds. And he goes, it's great that we won. I didn't do anything. I'm terrible right now. And that was 3 weeks before the Phillies series. So from that standpoint, you'd like to think that a coaching staff, in particular the hitting coach, would spot something. On the other side of it, and maybe it's irrelevant or not, I just got done with the Keith Hernandez book, and he talked about, I can't recall what the name, he was a big leaguer who was a hitting coach, and this is when he was with the Cardinals, and I think it was Red Schoendienst who told him, don't listen to that guy, he screws up so many guys. And I think he's a name you'd recognize, Doug, because I think he played in the big leagues. Either way, point being, hitting coaches, even for somebody who at that point was a blue-chip stock with the Cardinals in Hernandez, can have influence, despite the fact that you would think Paul Goldschmidt would be above that. Again, I'm not blaming Jeff Albert for Paul Goldschmidt's issues. I think the Cardinals' offense has flown under the radar with regards to criticism because the focus of the trade deadlines for the last couple of years were starting pitchers with Lester, Happ, picking up LeBlanc because of the injuries, and then this year with Montgomery and with Quintana. But the offense, when you look at the losses to the Nationals in 19, you look at the Dodgers in 21, and you look at the Phillies in 22, if you were to issue a verdict, it was the offense that was guilty.
It would be nice if they had a hitting coach that could maybe work with some people and show them how to hit the ball to the opposite field. You got this massive shift going on. Nobody can bunt. Nobody can hit the ball to the opposite field. Now, how much of that's on the players? Probably most of it. But some of it's also on the coaching staff for not encouraging it or teaching it.
Think we'll see Matt the Bat?
What's that?
Think we'll see Matt the Bat in the role?
Matt Carpenter?
Matt Holliday.
No.
You do not?
No. He's got another high school kid who's supposedly going to be another high draft pick who'll probably see him through, wants to watch all those games, I would think.
Zach was asked about it, and he didn't dismiss it.
I'd be happy to see it, but I wouldn't think that he would.
That was honestly what I thought when people would talk about him or Albert Pujols or whomever. because it's like you've made God only knows how much money, hundreds of millions of dollars. And when you have children, granted holidays are a little older for how old he is, and one's already a first-round pick, top pick. But when Mozeliak didn't just go, no, that's not happening. Okay, it just strikes me. That's something like maybe you do in your 50s when the kids are out. But if that's what you want to do, God bless it.
Yeah, I guess if he has a real desire to be a major league manager, that would be a big step to getting there. It only took Schumacher a couple years serving as bench coaches here in San Diego before he got a shot. So if that's Holliday's big goal is to be a major league manager, then yeah, I would think that he would be interested. But my first thought is probably not. He probably enjoys coaching his kids and wants to see all them play before he
I would
makes
think
that
they would
step.
ask him. That's why Mozeliak didn't poo-poo it, because they probably will talk to him and see if he's interested.
Yeah.
Is Yachty going to have a coaching role?
He's managing his own team.
In Venezuela, right?
Yeah.
I mean, after he. Okay, so after he's retired, that's what he's going to do.
He signed a deal to do that.
I don't think he'd be a very good manager.
No, he couldn't handle the media. He couldn't do the media.
You got to talk so much.
Yeah, before the game, after the game, now in the game.
Yeah.
On some national team would not be. He would not be your guy.
Players would love to play for him, but I think just what it entails on being a manager,
Right.
it's 12, 14-hour days, and you're talking pregame, during the game, postgame. I mean, it's just you're doing hits on local media. It's a lot.
Yeah, from a baseball standpoint, I think it'd be great, but it's that's only half the battle.
Yeah.
Well, there's no way they do that contract where, from June to August, you need 2 months off to go back to Puerto Rico and coach basketball. I don't think they'd be able to do that.
Can't take those extended vacations.
That kind of got brushed under the rug. Like, he's getting ejected from basketball games and kicking balls into the air.
I talked about it on
rehab.
101. You might have thought I was ready to light the city on fire.
It's amazing
I don't
how
understand. I mean, we got to have. Can you imagine if this were Dexter Fowler who left for a month
Jack
or two?
Flaherty hanging out in Cali?
Sure.
Oh, my gosh. You'd never hear it.
I think Pujols is the guy to be a great manager.
100%.
I don't think he'd ever want it. Pujols is a very bright guy.
Did you watch the interview Joe Buck did with him? It's like a 15-minute thing on MLB.com. I don't know,
No.
they just released it like yesterday or 2 days ago. It's outstanding. It's so good. It just Joe just went down to Busch Stadium and they just stood on the diamond and just BS'd for about 15, 20 minutes. It was so good. It's really not anything you'd ever really seen Albert talk that comfortably, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Yeah,
on MLB.com. That was just released a few days ago.
He's fantastic with the media when he wants to be, and he seems to want that now. He didn't necessarily want it earlier in his career, but obviously completely bilingual, knows the game as well as anybody, positive, upbeat guy, always been a guy that rooted for his teammates as much as himself. He'd be fantastic, but of course he's got so darn much money now, he won't need that hassle.
Well, people forget he's got the 10-year, I guess there's some way he can get out of it,
I'm
but
sure the
he's got the
Angels
10-year service contract with the Angels.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter if they have a new owner or not. That's part of the deal. And he said, I'm going to do it. So I don't know what that entails. You can't go manager somewhere else and say, what do you show up at a function once a year in L.A.?
No, Tony La Russa kind of did that.
Well, yeah, he missed his own
worked
games
for
to come
worked
here.
for other teams.
Yeah, he's just, I'm going to miss a game, and then I can go back to St. Louis. There's a function.
Your thoughts are welcome. 314-881 TMA5 Engineer Design Facilities. Text inbox. Smashing Pumpkins and Jane's Addiction coming to town. Two of rock's biggest bands, one monumental night. Smashing Pumpkins with very special guest Jane's Addiction. Spirits on Fire tour this coming Tuesday night, November 1st at Enterprise Center. Tickets on sale right now at livenation.com. And what you should do is think about it. Doug, do you think about Mark Milton for me?
I think about Mark Milton when I think about taxes, when I'm having my taxes done or trying to stay out of trouble with the IRS. No trouble for me yet, of course, but if you've got some issues, maybe you haven't filed your tax returns in the past years, and now it's catching up with you. Mark Milton is your guy. You've probably heard by now the IRS is receiving an additional $80 billion in funding to increase enforcement and audits of taxpayers. If that worries you at all, contact former Department of Justice Tax Division Attorney Mark Milton at stltaxlawyer.com. If you have unfiled tax returns, now is the time to act. That's a problem that's not going to go away unless you act. Mark and his team focus on tax debt resolution and can help with years of unfiled tax returns, defense against audits, and even criminal tax investigations. Clean up your tax issues and get yourself back into compliance. before all those new IRS agents are hired and enforcement ramps up. If you've got IRS problems, contact the STL tax lawyer, Mark Milton, at stltaxlawyer.com. You'll be saying to the IRS, you'll be saying things like, hey, I'm not guilty, I'm with Milty. And remember, the choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on adverts.
Can't teach you. Check out Mentality today at lowtusa.com. Go to lowtusa.com. It's FDA approved testosterone treatment. Board certified physicians who work with most insurance. If you are dealing with decreased mental acuity, attention span, and stress can cause focus issues on even the most simple tasks. If you have belly fat, feeling bloated, and the lack of lean muscle and tone that used to be easy to get rid of or maintain, or dealing with some low libido and disinterested in your spouse or partner, which can lead to relationship problems, go to lowtusa.com and work with Mentality. I have been checked out at Mentality. Super easy, super friendly, in and out. Can't recommend it enough. Even if you've tried testosterone before, not everyone understands the blood chemistry in men's bodies, and that's where Mentality can help. The normal range for testosterone is large. If you've been to a doctor and they told you that you were normal without understanding the range or testing your free testosterone, it wasn't fully looked at. Come get checked with Mentality at lowtusa.com. Text into the Engineered Design Facilities text inbox 314-881-TMA5. Call in 636-9004 TMA for our Steve Schmidt Kia North County phone lines, and email in for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email the day of the morning after at InsideSTL.com. We are in our Michelob Ultra studios. Michelob Ultra! 95 calories, 2.6 grams of carbs. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. As the weekend approaches, enjoy Michelob Ultra. Our appliance discounters, 8 o'clock hour. Doug, this show, the topic of the Rizzuto show yesterday, our neighbors just on the other side of the wall.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
neighbors to the west.
Riz couldn't be more than 7 feet away from Iggy.
Mm-hmm.
Right now as we speak, for those of you watching on YouTube at youtube.com/TMASTL. And here is the clip from I guess they were unhappy with us or unhappy with the Plowhawk. I don't know. I want to hear it. I haven't heard it.
No.
Hey, speaking of poisoning people, I got a bone to pick with next door here.
Oh yeah, dude.
Sounds heavy,
dude. Promise. This is. I mean,
we'll see where this goes.
Now,
so, let me just say, before we even say anything, I would like to preface this with, if what happened is incorrect and somehow I am misinterpreting this, then I apologize. But I don't think there's any way getting around this.
Okay, so we're in Studio Row here. It starts with Tim McKernan's show next door to us, TMA, and then it's us, and then it's WIL, and it's Courtney, and then it's Casey, and then it's ESPN.
Yep.
So food is in and out of here a lot, the various morning shows and afternoon shows. So Moon and Tony coming to the studio, you can't believe what just happened this morning.
Well, we're in there making coffee.
Well, so they're in there making coffee, and then explain.
So we're in there, we're making coffee, we're cleaning out the coffee thing, and we're just kind of waiting. And Plowboy from next door,
from TMA, yeah.
He puts a box on the table, the
community food table.
Yeah, the tickets and food table. So I went over to get breakfast.
You were going to eat it regardless of what it was?
He sure the hell was. He went over there with a purpose to eat it.
That's what I've done. Yeah, I have done that before. You know that. And
I haven't seen it in a while, but okay.
And
which is outrageous that would even cross through your mind.
Anyway.
And I opened it, and it was thick crust pizza, down one slice. So damn near a whole pizza. Now, remember, plain white box, pizza yesterday that I ate on the way to Tommy's office. So I assumed, oh, shoot, this must be from yesterday? And then Tony runs over, touches the box. He goes, nothing's cold.
I go, this is warm. I go, this is room temperature. This is sat out the entire day, all yesterday. And it was in that studio, and he grabbed it, and he brought it in there and went, everybody else eat this and get sick.
Tony went...
So it was pizza left out
from yesterday.
From yesterday morning.
From yesterday when they dropped it off, which is before noon, according to Moon, that it got dropped off, and it sat in their studio all day, all night, this morning, and then he grabbed it and put it in there and said,
damn
community
yourself,
pizza.
Let's say it was dropped off at noon.
Right, that was about the time.
We're talking 17 hours.
Yeah, 17
I'm no scientist. I don't know how long it takes for things to grow on food, but
I ain't rolling the dice on that.
No.
Oh my gosh.
I didn't realize it was on like the ticket food table either. But again, I
don't think that was their problem.
Yeah, well, yeah. But
You so had it been sitting here the whole time, and then you brought it out there?
That's true. Again, I'm gonna own up to a couple things. That it was accurate.
Oh, no.
They were having a conversation. I walked in to discard of the rest of the pizza, but they were right by the trash can. They're hovering by the trash can, which is fine. So like, didn't want to interrupt, a show meeting or talking about something. So my plan was to set it on the table, go to Jackson's booth, do some automation, and then go back and throw the pizza away. I forgot about the pizza. And I left it there, and apparently they tried to eat it, and it was warm.
Well, if you just warm it up in the microwave, you'll be all right.
Yeah.
But I don't think they did. Boone just grabbed it.
Boone just fired it in.
It had nothing to do with being cold. It had to do with it was 24 hours old.
Yeah, so I haven't apologized yet.
Oh, they'd be all right eating that pizza.
I'll point out to Moon that it wasn't on purpose. Certainly, I knew that it needed to be discarded.
Doug, the food on this show is causing problems at Hubbard Radio St. Louis.
How quickly do you
hate
throw
us.
out food? I don't think there's any danger of food that was out less than a day.
Well, with something like cheese, bacteria can grow up in there, and if they have meat on it, then
That'd be
it can
awfully
really be
quick.
nasty.
Be
No,
awfully quick.
the danger zone's 2 hours. Not in the
Is that
fridge.
right?
Not in the fridge or not hot. 2 hours and bacteria starts to form. I was in home ec no less than 6 years ago, so I remember this. Yeah.
Wow.
I've never been shy about heating things up that have sat around for a long time and never one time got the tiniest bit sick.
Microwaving kills a lot of the bacteria.
All right, so you're on today's Thanksgiving, okay? You got the turkey out, you carve it, everybody's still mingling around. Wait till the end of the football game, right? Let's say grace. You start carving the turkey. Then the turkey sits there. People may want to make sandwiches a little later. After 2 hours, you just put it in the refrigerator. That turkey sits out for 5-6 hours. People still picking at it.
Yeah.
I agree with that, but if it was sitting out for 18 hours.
No, but Jackson said 2 hours.
Well, that's when bacteria start to form.
Science.
It doesn't mean,
That's the truth.
It doesn't mean you have to.
So you're eating turkey with mold on it after 2
Not
hours.
mold,
Not
the
mold.
bacteria.
There's
Yeah.
certain bacteria.
Your stomach can handle a lot of that bacteria, but sometimes you can get unlucky and get sick.
What has changed over the years? Because my mom, I remember, she would go to Charcoal House every Saturday night. My dad would get off about 10:30, and then they would sit and have dinner. And she'd get the filet. My mom ate like a bird. She'd get a 6-ounce filet and have one bite. She'd be full. But she'd always bring the steak home and put it on, wrapped up in foil, and it'd be on the stove. Get up the next morning, make some eggs, cut a little piece off. It's fine. When did it get to after 2 hours you can't?
Because people have gotten soft. The snowflakes, all of them, every last one of them.
Or science has evolved, and we've learned more.
I've left pizza out on the.
I'm saying you can be safe doing it. I'm not saying this rule is 100% going to get you sick, but that bacteria begins to grow if for 2 hours the food is not in the fridge or not at the hot temperature that it was originally.
We used to eat mud pies. We didn't get sick.
No, a lot of bacteria in there.
Meat and cheese stuff, not like I can leave a ding dong out for 3 years and it'll be just fine.
Well, yeah, those things. I mean, they're in the store on a shelf and in the icebox.
Right.
Don't say icebox.
But I do kind of get where. And Plowsy wasn't doing anything wrong. He was going to throw it away. And,
My
you're
intentions
never
were-
interrupting a guy. You say, excuse me, guys, and you throw it in there.
Yeah, that's true.
But, I get that they thought you were just putting it out for staff. 18 hours later, here, help yourself, everybody.
It did look like it, for sure, from their perspective. So I understand the confusion. Because it did look like I was like, hey, trying to be nice.
Doesn't food sit out on tables very often out there? In the employee break room here?
Well, once they
frequently
get
there's food
it,
out
like
there.
the pizza that we had in here with the pepper and genies on it.
Pepper and genies.
I put it out there right after the show was over. I put it out there and it was gone in like 2 minutes. But yeah, and once you get it and you put it out there, it's going to be eaten right away. You don't wait till the next day and say, "Oh,
Doug, the community food table.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I haven't noticed an outbreak of botulism among the staff.
But they're putting it out there right after their show. They don't wait the next day and put it up. Courtney had, I don't know, something that needed to be refrigerated, in her studio. A lot of times people bring in White Castles to her. All right, she got White Castles at 8 o'clock in the morning, and then they sat in there all night. And then at 8 o'clock the next morning, you put some White Castle out on the table.
Sure.
People
Heat them up, you'll be
people
fine.
thought they just came. They started eating them, but they're 24 hours old.
Plowsy, what'd you do with all those White Castle burgers you couldn't eat? You put them out there on the table?
I had one or two.
Yeah, I put them out there and they're eating.
Yeah, but you put them right out there. If you'd have put them out there the next day,
Yeah.
True.
and people didn't know they were from yesterday.
Yeah, come on.
I have an
Don't touch
iron stomach, man. I can
I do
just
too.
Right,
I
some
can
people-
absolutely eat anything and everything, and maybe have a big poop every now and then. But,
Read calendars got you one time.
Oh man,
I think
that
you
thing-
should just walk in the studio right now and apologize.
Chicken Alfredo. Well, I don't want to do that. It may cause a worse situation by running on the show.
You don't have to apologize for trying to be generous, leaving a pizza
I
for
wasn't
other
leaving
people.
it there for them either. That's the point. That's the apology.
Maybe I'll go put your salmon on that table right now.
You cook it, too. Let people get a whiff of that.
Turn on that fan and just whisk it throughout the whole.
I'd love a piece of salmon right about now.
I should go warm it up.
Maybe right after the show.
And they'll smell it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't mind messing around with a show that really doesn't have a lot of popularity.
No.
Oh, ours? Yeah, they can say my name on Rizzuto Show all day if they want.
That's good for your brand.
Everybody's like, this Plowboy guy sucks. What a douche. Attempted murder.
Attempted murder. Those are trumped up charges, Your Honor.
Mr. Lick says, speaking of Pepper and Jeannie, where's Tuesday's episode, and how do we get more days like that where you don't post the podcast?
Did I not post it?
I don't know.
There was nothing up on Tuesday. I wasn't gonna say anything because I thought something happened, or like you guys
Did you
didn't
guys not
it.
do it?
Oh, we did it.
What did we do Tuesday?
I forgot.
Yesterday was...
Oh, it's useless now.
childhood
Yeah,
mystery.
I won't be posting it.
Is it evergreen content or is it dated?
We could easily post that today for.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, just post that one today.
Iggy, do you want to take a day off?
You're gonna.
Yeah, post Tuesdays today. I got things to do today. I got to go by Munganess.
Dude, that's pretty sick. Cause I got stuff to do too, like work. But I still.
Doug and I got to go see Clayton.
What did we talk about? Too? This is kind of interesting. I don't even know what we talked
I
about.
don't. Monday was the
Was it
House of
Dreams?
the Dragons.
Was it
Yesterday was Childhood Memories.
I think it was Dreams.
Tuesday we did Dreams.
Or was that Friday? I'm telling you, those
I don't
topics that
know.
we just named off, heavy hitters.
Yeah, big topics. Big topics for you.
Oh, our topic yesterday, we could have went 2 hours on.
What was the topic?
Childhood memories. And that's always a good topic because everybody
We
likes
probably
nostalgia.
did that a couple weeks ago and just forgot about it. But
Okay.
Loading up.
And Carly has our new open too, so she'll probably look at that and say, "I'm not reading this."
You wrote the open and presented it to her.
She said, "Can you type it out for me?"
Yeah.
Because I had it all written down.
Well, yeah.
I said, "Yeah, I should have typed it out anyway."
Sure you
So I
should.
typed it last night and sent it to her, and
Emailed it to her.
emailed it to her.
Okay.
Then what did she say?
Well, first it bounced back.
Uh-oh.
Wrong email address.
Well, it was
blocked.
I spelled Carly wrong. I had a
do it.
I had a CARLI and there's an E at the end. So I sent it to her and I said, "If you have any questions, just let me know."
Yeah.
And she probably read it and said, "God, I'm not going to read this. I don't want to be associated with this."
Well, what did it say?
It's just
It was kind of derogatory toward us.
What did it say?
It's like the first line is, "And now time for another episode of Pepper and Jeannie." And then I say, "Pause. What is this called?" Then we play the drop. "Pepper and Jeannie." That's not how you say it. It's pronounced whatever. And at the end she goes, "I can't believe Tommy and Marty and John even let this S show on the air."
And she has to say the S word?
Yeah.
She's not going to do that.
Why?
You're putting a curse word in her mouth in her copy? She won't do that.
We'll see.
Wow.
But then I have to get because my ending is and Tim, you would probably know best if this will happen.
Doug, I always know best.
But I put
The
that
answer is
it's the Tim
no.
McKernan show. Learn always say, you ever watch anything Learn does? She goes, "Yeah," and
What?
no, because Rizzuto just said, he goes, "Yeah, the Tim McKernan show." Anytime Learn says something, you'll see a question about me when she says, "Ask me anything. How big of a creep is Iggy?" Iggy's not a creep. He's on the Tim McKernan show. And it is the Tim McKernan show. It should be.
Dog, if they're gone, all right.
Well, the TM is already in there, so it should be
Tim McKernan and Associates.
Tim McKernan after.
TNC's are called.
Tim McKernan after. But what do you know? What he's saying? Oh,
Doug, keep it
We're
up.
always we are always the circus. Tim is the ringmaster. We're always mentioned as the circus boys.
The body morning show.
yes, we just bounce the balls on our nose.
We're always just relegated to circus boys.
But I put that line in there because I want to put at the end when she says, "I can't believe Tommy and John and Marty even let this S show on the air," and then I want to have all three of these guys, if they won't mind voicing it, talking to each other. Tommy going, what is this show? Anybody approve this? Marty goes, I don't know. I didn't open for it, but I know it was on the air. And then John saying, I didn't approve it. What is this thing? Get those guys in my office. That's what I want them to voice is the end of it.
You want the market manager, the head of programming, and the director of KSHE and 106.5 The Arch to come in and
voice them for him.
Yeah, we're doing casting, though, so they haven't really gotten the job. They haven't gotten it yet.
I do a lot of voiceover work, so it should be easy.
I just want them to be at the end of the promo answering the question that they didn't even get those guys in the
After
office.
there's a curse word in the intro.
Hey, Mr. Hubbard, would you mind participating?
He's hitting all the bases this morning. Hijacking, Learn, Carly, sucking up to Hubbard. On and on and on. That's from the
I mean, what the hell is going on?
I'm just talking about the promo.
Imagine the market manager, John Kelsey, seeing on a schedule, record open for Pepper and Jeannie podcast. It's like, well, I'm
I
bumping
think
that.
it's best that Pepper and Jeannie just remain like a stealth bomber and not be picked up on the
We
radar.
didn't post anything on Tuesday, and no one knew
Yeah, up
about
until
it.
now. Mr. Licks is on. I guess he wants to discuss Pepper and Jeannie not being posted.
Well, Tuesday's going to be today, and I'm not changing it, so it'll be a Tuesday open.
Oh, good. We won't do it today.
Mr. Licks.
Oh, hello, Licks.
Guys, yeah, hey, this is an insane development on Pepper and Jeannie, okay? And Iggy, stop for 1 second. Stop talking about Learn, dude. Just give it a rest, okay?
Why
can
don't you just stop talking, period?
Just take
Don't
Pepper
tell me
and
what to
Jeannie
do.
off of my phone. It took 2 days for someone to notice there was no Pepper and Jeannie. No one cares about it. No one listens to it. Get it off my phone. No one wants to sponsor it. Okay? The audience is done with Pepper and Jeannie. It's over. Retire the show.
Well, we're not going to do it, so why don't you just shut up?
We haven't even got to the good topics yet.
Oh, my God. You talked about Halloween decorations last week.
I think that might have been Tuesday's show, actually.
Oh, well.
So that's the one that didn't get posted? It'll be posted?
No, if Mr. Licks heard it, then it's already posted,
It was
yeah.
Friday, and I've got a great clip of Iggy saying "Happy Halloween, 6-year-old." It's going to be monstrous when I play it. Iggy, you got to stop describing the open, okay? It sounds like the most unfunny bit every time you do it.
We don't care what you think. It's funny for us. We enjoy the show. I don't really care if you like it or not. I don't care if it comes up on your phone. I don't care if you don't listen.
Hey, Jackson, can you pull a lever to where, like, Plowsy thinks he's uploading it, but it just goes into the abyss?
The ether. I guess afterwards
Yeah.
I could make it an inactive podcast, but I wouldn't do that because I'm Pepper and Jeannie Leving.
Nice.
I'm not going to do it.
But no one even noticed it wasn't uploaded.
I did, but I didn't want to say
Well,
anything.
you
'cause I
noticed it
didn't know.
because you just brought it up.
I do actually agree with
And you don't
Licks.
even listen to the show and you notice it wasn't uploaded.
Plowhawk,
so.
you're dissenting?
No, it is really funny how nobody noticed. Not just me and Iggy, but I mean literally nobody. No listener, no management.
Well, I don't listen, so I wouldn't know if it's up.
I do find that extremely funny, though.
Maybe people noticed, but they were just so down and depressed that it wasn't on there that they've been unable to raise a stink about it.
I don't think that's.
I think it was kind of like a perfect game. Like you were just hoping that next days wouldn't be uploaded. You didn't want to say anything.
You know what's a scene? Ladue Taco.
Ladue Taco.
Keep bringing that up. I've never been there.
Dude,
What's going on at Ladue Taco?
I love taco.
So, my friend who listens to the show, when I mentioned it last time, he put 2 and 2 together. It's the same place. Wasn't there a caller that called in about like lesbianism going on at that Red Pizza place?
Oh, L Pizza, I thought.
Red L Pizza. It was Red L Pizza.
Was it Tucker?
It was Tucker, yeah.
Right across from Companion.
You guys don't remember that?
No, I do.
Yeah, sure.
No.
So what? There was or there was not? Or is there a lesbianism going on at your restaurant that you're talking about?
Oh, there could have been.
Really?
I didn't notice any. It was mostly rich husbands who were just congregating over margaritas. So kind of the opposite.
But for you, that's a scene?
That's a good point, Doug. I guess so.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, I only called in about Pepper and Jeannie. Please. Just please.
Well, it'll
That's
be up
all I
there
got.
at 10:10 today.
It's
so
going
just
up.
be ready.
And it's going to be Tuesday's episode?
And it's gonna say, "Hey, welcome in Tuesday morning here on Pepper and Jeannie." So you have something to look forward to, Licks.
Well, sure he does.
It'll be right there for you. It'll play right after segment 3.
I can't wait to hear the great comedy script that Iggy has come up with for the Open, because he's a fantastic comedy writer. It's going to be one of the most funniest little bits I've ever heard in my life.
Okay.
So I'm looking forward to it, guys. Thank you.
Okay, thanks for bringing the energy.
He was really
Pepper and Genie critic.
He was really fired up. But again, the one thing I do think is funny that like
What?
Tommy, like none of the listeners, nobody knew or cared. I don't know which
No.
one's worse.
Tervis Parrish, who's usually at war with Mr. Lick, says, I noticed it, but I was thrilled because I didn't have to waste my time deleting it. That's from Tervis Parrish.
Are we becoming U2? Like we're putting it on there unwillingly and people are revolting? Should I post it at like
I was under the impression that my podcast and Balloon Party automatically downloaded, but I guess not. So it's only Pepper and Genie that automatically downloads.
Well,
you
if
have
you're
to subscribe to it,
Right. If you're subscribed to the Morning After STL podcast feed, then you are getting automatic downloads from Pepper and Genie.
I don't want to lose subscribers because we're putting Pepper and Genie up there. That was what I meant.
Well, you can also
like if the net is that we're losing subscribers because people are not they're unsubscribing to TMA because they don't want Pepper and Genie.
And I
Is
don't
that what
even-
you're saying?
Yeah, I don't know what the percentage of that is, but
Doug, do you have the numbers in front of you on the people?
I wouldn't want that
I
to be
do.
the
The
case.
numbers are 7 and 8.
Me and Iggy,
7 and 8.
me and Iggy love doing it.
You'd have
like,
to be awfully lazy to unsubscribe because you don't want to see it on your feed.
Yeah, like
you
I
don't have
said,
to listen to it. Just because it pops up and you see it, you're going to unsubscribe from the TMA app because you don't want to see the name Pepper and
Now you're getting angry.
Well, it's a show.
Well, it makes no sense to me. And Lix is the only one that's ever mentioned it.
You
So.
can also turn off automatic downloads pretty easily.
Agreed. And also, like, I mean, the show is Pepper and Genie is supposed to be really stupid. Like, we're supposed to have how to keep yourself cool in the summer topics. Like,
Mission
we're not
accomplished.
breaking
That's the best
down
topic you've
anything.
ever
We're
done.
Oh, yeah, that was one.
How to stay cool in the summer.
That's like our 4th episode, too. Where
There's
we're
not a
really
lot of
supposed
It's
to-
like a local news tip.
We're not breaking down.
Seek
our
air
kicker.
conditioning. Seek air conditioning. Stay hydrated. Stay out in the sun.
Yeah.
We're not breaking down the atom. We're not doing anything interesting. It's just a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing we have fun with. If you don't want to listen, don't listen.
Yeah.
Well,
Maybe you could
I
do a
can't
show
remember
on-
what we talked about Tuesday. So
could do a
obviously
show
I'm
on-
not listening.
Best local news tips. Like my favorite is if you don't have to go anywhere, don't go. You hear that when it snows all the time.
Stay home.
If
Bread
you don't
and
have
eggs.
to go anywhere, don't go. Well, why would I go anywhere then?
Guys, did I just hear one of Pepper or Genie ask, are we becoming U2? The answer to that is absolutely not. They had a 20-plus year run of success, self-awareness at an all-time high. Doug, that Stan the caddy, he was not happy with
Well,
our
sure.
pairing
Yeah.
a couple months ago.
See what
Look,
was
what I
upset.
meant was, and I thought it was easy
Big
to
block to the
understand,
right.
I didn't think a 6-month Pepper and Genie tour had the same stature as selling 100 million albums or whatever. So I get that.
Pepper and Genie should go on tour, though. Do a live podcast.
I'd go on location for sure.
You tried that at Ballpark
Qdoba
Village.
on
It didn't
Manchester.
go well. You
Well, I
were
didn't
called an aging lesbian.
Well, I didn't have my Genie with me.
That's a good point. You had Larry Nickel, right?
Well, yeah, he was trash though. Like he couldn't.
Yeah, he was. He was a little intoxicated at ballpark.
I had to help him get off the
scolding
stage.
the audience like Jim Morrison in the Doors. The Loomster, who, Doug, you say he's the listener of the year?
I haven't said that yet.
Best licks call ever. Pepper and Genie sucks. I have to listen. I finished segment 3 and the nonsense just starts playing. It's really a rough situation. That's from the Loomster, who is nominated for Listener of the Year.
Simp cuck there. He ain't winning Listener of the Year. I can tell you that.
I'm still going to go with D'Angelo Hopkins.
by a landslide.
Yeah, with his TikTok.
Dude, Herb's hog. Not even just Herb, but his hog is ahead
specifically.
of Loomster. That T-shirt Herb wore is ahead of Loomster.
That brown striped T-shirt.
3 Shades of Brown.
You sat
he
in the-
made quite a little impression on all of us.
Yeah, you sat in the corner at Bomber O'Brien's while your girlfriend won the dating game for
Maggie
you.
O'Brien.
That's Maggie O'Brien. So that's
Bomber O'Brien.
that's really not like, you know, Listener of the Year
I
status.
saw the Bomber O'Brien's bus last night as I was
Did
walking
you?
to the Enterprise
Yeah,
Center.
I always see that.
That's the move.
Yeah, it's a great way to
100%.
go.
You know, and this might be an observation that's a decade old, and I apologize. As I've stated, I rarely leave my basement, and so last night was an exception. But I left my home at, Doug, what time did I leave my home?
I don't know.
6:18 or so. Thinking I'd get to the game with plenty of time.
Yeah, that's cutting it pretty short.
Is it really? Okay.
Sure, with traffic and getting parked and
But
everything.
it's 40, or do you say I-64?
I still say 40.
40 in Big Bend. Is somebody, Plowhawk or Jackson, made that observation yesterday, I thought. That's where heading
Yeah.
eastbound.
Yeah, 40
it's
and
just
Big Bend.
absurd. But was it like that before they
It's
made those changes? Because I don't recall it that way, and I lived in a place off of Hanley from 2001 to 2006 or 7. And so I would have been passing that all the time to go down to work at KMOV, and I don't recall that. So it's like, is it a problem that's been recently created? I'm asking.
I think
and if
what it
I'm
was-
wrong, I'm wrong, and you can crap on me. all
No,
you
and I
want.
mentioned it yesterday. I think
You
what
mentioned?
it
Okay,
is-
I apologize.
No, they mentioned 40 in Big Ben. I said I think the reason is because they actually thought it was going to help traffic, and I think it hurt it because there's 2 lanes coming off of Big Ben to merge.
That is correct.
So now you have
because I was like, man, there's got to be an accident.
Oh,
and there wasn't. It was just 40 and Big Ben. It was backed up all the way to by like Sportsman's Park.
Yeah, the far right lane that's already on the highway, they slow down to let the 1 lane merge in, but then that lane's got to wait for the right lane to merge in too, and they're all stopping.
If you're getting off on Brentwood and you don't need to go to Big Ben, you have basically three lanes you have to get through within a quarter of a mile of each other. Like, that is insane.
Yeah, and
how you think of that is asinine. Like, I don't have any business being in, creating interstates. And
Who do you want to hold accountable?
Yeah,
whoever had that idea that you needed to get over 3 lanes before exiting as you're getting on an on-ramp is the most ridiculous thing on the planet.
Manute Bowl Eligible says they made it worse with all the rearranging of the Big Bend and Hanley exchanges.
Yeah, and I would say that Hanley gets so nasty because you have so much residential area combined with commercial area and businesses, like where people work, all right there, and you have 2 lanes to get on 40 with all that traffic.
Yeah, you shipped it.
So it's crazy.
This is Gianni Shanahan says that nonsense started after they reopened 40. Made it worse than it ever was. Every damn day.
It's literally every day it looks like there's a wreck.
And then it immediately clears up once you get to like Bellevue or McCausland. Immediately clears up.
Yeah, once you get past there, it all
Until you get off it depends on where you get off to go to the Enterprise Center.
Right.
And then I noticed this, and I think this is what you guys were talking about yesterday, and I know we've talked about it in the past, but like I said, I'm rarely going to anything, that people wait in line, kind of starting back by, I guess, I don't know if it's Chaffetz or what was Centene, to get off at 14th. And, people patiently wait. But then a couple of Hoosiers will speed up and then cut off right at the end.
Oh, my God. When you know you have to get in another lane and you think your time is more important, I literally want to kill people for that. Like, I hate
And I'm like,
when that
I could see this turning into a situation. Now, I'm, at this age, and really this height has been where I've been. I believe I am shrinking for all of my life. So I'm not the guy who's going to scrap with anybody on the road, kind of know my place in the pecking order. I would be described more as prey instead of predator. But I do wonder if somebody who's like locked in and they're wanting to get to the game, and then all of a sudden somebody speeds up and cuts them off right at the exit, if that leads to all hell breaking loose. I don't know. I just witnessed that
probably
myself.
does.
Does it?
I never deal with that because I use God's highway, 44.
That is Yahweh's highway.
And you could do that.
I could, sure.
Yeah, you should. If you're going to downtown for a game or something, it'd be much
But
easier.
I so rarely go that and that's last night. It was eye-opening, and I thought, man, there must be an accident. And no, it was just Big Ben and 40. I'm going, man, what a mess.
Yeah. 44 is rarely backed up.
Yeah.
Rarely.
It's the superhighway.
What exit do you get off to go to a Blues game 44?
Jefferson, usually.
Yep, Jefferson. You got a little
It's a
bit
nice
more
play.
not residential, but I mean, it's certainly kind of got to weave in and out through little streets to
The
get there.
Halloween store right there is probably all.
Oh, Johnny Brock's. It's right next to what is the worst fast food restaurant in the country.
The McDonald's
The
right there.
McDonald's on Jefferson by 44. I'll bring this up. It is the worst. Not the McDonald's in general.
What'd
just
they do
that
to you?
If you've seen the line, you never get your food right. It takes an hour. It is. It's a perfect storm of just terribleness. If you've ever been there, you know that that's the worst.
Okay.
Where'd you park? I've only last Blues game I went to. There's like a lot that's 2 blocks away. I got lucky. There was a spot, but I don't even know where you park.
A lot just to the east of 14th, behind that building that was a Sheridan, and now I believe is residential. So I walked over. They stayed for 2 full periods, which was an upset considering really more my sleep schedule than my son's, honestly. But it was awesome. It was awesome to go. Awesome to see Claves and generous executive Mike Caruso and Richie.
How do you tell a 5-year-old, hey, we got to leave the game early. Daddy needs to go to bed.
I'm sure he was ready.
Well, I try to tend to these things on the front end. I said, listen, we're not going to act like bitches when we leave early.
Oh.
We're very direct in the house.
Yeah.
We're very direct. It's like Southie. And I said, so that's the deal. And if that's going to be a problem, then we're not going. So he understood the program going in. And he was cool about it. And fortunately, they scored literally with like 5 seconds left in the second period.
Yeah.
So you got to see a goal. Not on board with the power play dance.
Why?
Oh, it's the stupidest
I
thing
love
on
the
the
power play
planet.
dance.
I thought he would enjoy it. Not on board with it.
Good for him.
You're supporting.
I always
love-
do
I
it.
absolutely
I would have
What's
thought a
wrong with it?
5-year-old, freshly turned 5-year-old, would have loved the power play.
What's wrong with the power play?
Well, he
dance?
didn't vocalize the reasoning. I just thought he would enjoy it and didn't.
Being down 4-1 and you get a power play with 3 minutes to go and everybody
Sure,
doing the
start
power play dance,
dancing.
just stop.
What's
Raise
worse,
those arms.
power play dance or the wave?
The woo guy is way worse than
He is
anything.
currently.
He's the worst of them all.
He's the worst of
Doug
them
would
all.
agree with you.
That kind of faded away this year. I didn't hear any wooing this year.
It's
I heard
because
a
Woo
lot
Guy
of
thinks
waving.
he's funny.
And you get everybody involved, and
Yeah.
it's so dumb. The wave, you can sit down, and I don't care. The power play dance when you're losing, just getting your ass kicked.
Right. The difference with the wave is wave guy. Wave guy who, if he's in your section,
Come on, let's go.
They still do the
Yeah.
wave every single game at Busch Stadium.
every single time.
It's been going on since the late 80s?
Dumb.
I remember them in the 80s. Sure.
Yeah.
Guys not waiting in line in traffic and then cutting people off at the last minute guy would be a high seed in the
Yep.
that guy tournament. Up there with club sports dad guy and soccer guy. That's from Friends of Bert Convey.
Yeah, that guy would be a 4 seed, but you wouldn't be surprised if he was a 2 seed because that guy is the
Like
worst.
it's a dangerous 4, I'll tell you that.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
who are your top 4 seeds?
Oh man, we did that guy. Oh, what did we had?
You know we can
brought up
create
a
it. Don't we
good
have
one.
that?
Yeah, some with that. I gotta wait till Jesse's here again so she can help me with that. But big grunter guy at the gym,
Big
Grunter guy.
the guy who like wants you to know how heavy he's lifting.
Mm-hmm.
That one's pretty uncomfortable.
But speaking of traffic, how do you like the guy that doesn't want to wait in the line to exit because there's a big, long wait to exit, so he goes over on the shoulder of the road to get
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Have you seen that Barstool
I've seen
employee do like the comedian that Barstool? His video is hilarious from like a week or two ago.
Is this
and
Francis?
Yeah. Oh my God, he's a treat. But this guy tried to do the shoulder thing. He got out of the lane, went to the shoulder, and went the exact same speed at the slowed down traffic in the shoulder. And the dude is just blaring his horn, honking, and just going with the speed of the
Yeah.
traffic. That's the move. That is the move.
Yeah. And then you get so mad at people like that, and then they find out later, oh, my wife was about to have a baby. I'm trying to get to the hospital, or I got a kid bleeding in the back. Okay, sorry that I got in your
No,
way.
this was a guy with like a
Usually-
lift-kitted truck with like the Punisher sticker on the back.
So you assume that wasn't a childbirth situation. See, that's the way my mother, who is a wonderful, pure human being. I still wonder how I apparently emerged from her. My dad would go, "Look at this jackass, this son of a bitch," and that whole thing. And then my mom would go, "Now you don't know. They might be in a rush. Somebody might be sick."
But it's true. I had that last weekend. We were at Eckert's, and they're loading people into the cart after we've picked the apples, trying to load people back in. Lots of people waiting, not enough room. So not everyone who's been waiting can get in. And we get onto this cart, and one lady is literally lying down on the bench,
Oh, my word.
taking up 3 or 4 spots. And my first thought was, can you believe how rude this woman is? Thankfully, I didn't say anything, because at the end of the trip, she gets up and takes off her stocking cap, and she has no hair. She's obviously a cancer victim. Her husband is helping her walk back to the car. Here she was. She toughed it out the whole day. Was a good sport, probably sick as a dog. And some people like me, my first thought is how rude of her taking up
Can't wait
seats.
to give her
You
a
never know.
scolding.
You never know what's going on.
But usually you'll put your emergency blinkers on and like roll down your window and like do like a hey, emergency. I mean,
What I noticed with it was, and again, these are observations most people have been making for more than a decade, and this is me just emerging from a cave for the first time, and it's like Unfrozen Caveman Lawyer. But you could see it coming, like they're flying at like 70 miles an hour, and then right at the end, they just edge their way in right at 14th, and I'm like, man, if I, were a larger gentleman and a younger gentleman, and I was a banty rooster about something, that wouldn't sit well with me. And so I wonder when it happens, if it leads to potential fisticuffs. But I guess we don't hear about it.
No.
I see it coming. I speed up. There's no way you're
So
getting
you will be the guy who...
You're not getting it. No. Wait like
solidarity.
the rest. Wait
Solidarity.
like the rest
I'm all
of
for
us.
the solidarity, but I'm not looking to get into a
I'm not,
scrap or
but-
pistol. Or,
I'm not, but wait for like the rest of us. We all waited in line. You don't go flying up in front of 40 cars and then decide, I'm just going to scoot in right here.
My advice is just let it go. If he's that crazy and that rude, you don't know what he might do.
That's the logical play.
Everyone just follow the zipper technique. You will never have traffic issues ever. Like
Every
if
other
you would
one.
just follow that simple, like just one after another, not race and speed and barrel people over just so you can get one car ahead because you're getting on the interstate.
Yeah.
Like that.
You're going to arrive
just
2 seconds earlier than the guy behind you.
Zipper it up and you're perfect.
This is interesting because if we're going to do it, is this going to be a field of 64, Jackson, in the this guy tournament?
Yeah, we'll start and we'll adjust if needed.
I'm anxious to see this field. Former fan page moderator Neil Allen Craig Paquette would like to enter somebody into the field. Don't forget about reach around guy. He's the guy you're banging from behind but doesn't have the common courtesy of giving you a reach around.
Okay.
It's interesting.
Well, we don't all have that problem.
You do receive the reach around.
You haven't had that issue?
Well, no, I've never had the reach around.
Okay.
You ever had a reach around?
From a guy?
Well, no.
What?
Hold on.
So, like, if Anna Marie came up from behind tonight and just started stimulating me
That's a reach
manually,
around.
that would, by definition, be me receiving a reach around. Because in most cases, I would assume the reach around is man on man.
Well, I said that most of us have had that. I don't know how you can say that guy.
Real Western grip style.
How many times that happen?
Oh, you'd be surprised.
Is it like a cow's udder?
So, yeah, how can people hate on Pepper and Genie when this kind of dialogue goes on?
Yeah.
Maybe that should be the topic.
How about the...
Yeah, why did you guys talk about reach arounds?
Yeah, let's
Pepper
do
and Genie.
No, we're not doing a show today. We're posting Tuesdays today.
Iggy got so excited when he knew we had one in the can.
In the can? You didn't post it.
Well, we're going to say it was in the can.
Hopefully it's
We'll do reach around
still
Friday.
saved somewhere.
No, it's
Oh, I
saved.
got it. Oh, it's 17 and a half minutes. Perfect.
Oh, okay.
You guys should just preload them. Like do 5 on Monday. And then...
No, we could. But
Oh, that would be
we're
like
too dumb
real
to think about
fortunate.
them. What about the cup stack guy? The guy you see at the ballpark?
Oh, yeah, that was popular back on the morning
that's
grind.
Like
harmless.
35 cups stacked.
I like how he'd be like a 14.
So the whole beer's
Oh yeah, that's fine. The beer snake is cool.
Guy.
How about guy at a concert who's the only guy standing and he's standing right in front of you? He's got to stand and dance. So now you can't see anything unless you stand up the whole time.
Well, I never had a
That's
problem
pretty
with people
annoying.
standing at concerts.
The sporting event one is the person who you're in like the 400 section, but they're screaming at the opposing outfielder, thinking they're going to hear him the whole game, screaming that like you're a bum.
Being rude to
What are you
customer
doing?
service guy.
That's Karen's.
Well, I don't know. Yeah, there's a both, but yeah, that's number one seed. Just completely oblivious that they help thousands a day, that you're their only customer. Customer's always right. That's one of the worst sayings I've ever heard because it's completely wrong. They're always stupid.
The customer is
it.
always stupid? What kind of customer service is that?
They wouldn't say that at engineered design
No, they would
facilities. EDF's fire division now testing, inspecting, and maintaining the fire system on all commercial kitchen and restaurant hoods. EDF can handle all your company's security and surveillance needs, from surveillance cameras to access card readers to facial recognition software and everything in between. If you have visibility to your company or place of business's commercial fire alarm panel and system, email fire@edf-rg.com, and they will have a technician come out and provide a free evaluation of your system and offer the most competitive contract pricing in the market. Also, check them out anytime at edf-rg.com, the official commercial fire alarm services and solutions provider of TMA. Coming up on Balloon Party on 101 ESPN, Jackson and I will be joined by Dan McLaughlin talking about the moves yesterday with Adam Wainwright's return. John Mozeliak saying the payroll will be increased. Jeff Albert gone. Mike Maddox is stepping down from his role as pitching coach, and what direction the Cardinals may go to fill those roles. Dan McLaughlin, and of course, plenty on last night's festivities with the Blues. You can leave a mic drop like Stephen Wildwood does using the 101 ESPN app or texting in 65780. Pepper and Genie will be on today, but it's just the one that was on from Tuesday. But you're going to get Pepper and Genie. So what does it matter when it was recorded, Doug? The content's evergreen.
It's very, very evergreen, much like an evergreen tree.
Oh.
I don't remember what we talked about. I really don't.
So it'll be a surprise to you, too.
Oh, he won't listen.
Listen, but Licks will tell us what is on there.
Email in the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today, the morning after at InsideSTL.com. We are less than 2 months away from the holidays, and if you would like to give the ultimate Christmas gift or make sure that you get a gift certificate for your family members, go to mysoundstory.com. We fill up in the month of December, so to get them done in November would be super convenient. Come on in to Hubbard Radio and have it produced with professional equipment and production, or you can do it over Zoom for convenience. or get one for your mother, your father, your grandparents, your spouse, whomever in your life, and always have your family stories told in their voices. MySoundStory.com, interviewed by Doug Vaughn, by Jackson Burkett, by Learn, by me at MySoundStory.com. We'll take a commercial break and come back with our Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour. This is the Ryan Kelly Morning After.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Watch TMA on YouTube. Click the bell to subscribe. Download the podcast. Find it at TMASTL.com or wherever you podcast. And check us out on TikTok at TMASTL.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
Okay.
Hot takes.
Yeah.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
And now the Pepperoncini Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Strode. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Pepperoncini.
Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini. Pepperoncini.
We don't know what it is. We don't understand the name. We just know it's stupid. And it's available every weekday, featuring Iggy and the Plowboy. Apparently it's some kind of a podcast or something. Available at TMASTL.com and on the TMASTL mobile app. Whatever.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. In studio today with one of my favorites, Tim McKernan, the man, the myth, the legend. We're here at Hubbard Radio. I checked out the new studio today.
What do you think?
The wallpaper is fabulous.
How about that?
Man, that's like 10, 11 years in the making.
It really was.
One of the best investments, one of the best deals I've ever done. I've said that over a decade. I still mean that. But the good work that the show has done, the money that's been raised, the community, the culture, everything about it. I'm a TMA limiting for life, you know. I don't know what else to say about that, except if you need a mortgage, visit thehomeloanexpert.com.
With the fall's cooler weather upon us, we hope you'll let Lee May Concrete Block help you with all of your landscaping projects. They've been a locally owned and operated manufacturer since 1947, priding themselves on their quality of their products and the customer service they provide. Lee May Block offers a complete line of fireplaces, outdoor living kits, decorative retaining wall blocks, ready-mix concrete, masonry block, as well as concrete parking curbs and air conditioning slabs. Please visit their showroom off South Broadway at 326 East Courtois or visit them online at LeeMayBlock.com.
There's a lot of common sense in Western wisdom, like don't squat with your spurs on and always drink upstream from the herd. And there's also some Western wisdom that's less common, like never steal from a bear or what you can't make for yourself, or a man doesn't know his worth until he's eye to eye with a rattlesnake holding a toad. I'm sure there's a good lesson in there somewhere, but there's one lesson that's perfectly clear. Fistful of Bourbon is an award-winning blend of 5 straight bourbons and is smooth as a banker on Friday. Get wise, pick up a bottle today. Don't be a damn fool. Please enjoy responsibly. Imported by William Grant & Sons, New York, New York. This is Tim McKernan. I'd like to tell you about a company I started just a couple of years ago and they still own. And it's called Sound Story. It's essentially a 1-hour interview that we do either in person or via Zoom with mothers, fathers, grandmothers, grandfathers. They come in and they tell their stories, education, growing up, and of course, family stories, the wisdom that they can share with their loved ones for generations to come. It's an audio heirloom. It's Sound Story. To learn more, go to mysoundstory.com.
Nothing says barbecue like Naven's Barbecue. Whether it's lunch, dinner, or a family gathering, Naven's Barbecue has an extensive menu for any palate. From slow-smoked Texas-style brisket to award-winning smoked chicken wings. All Naven's Barbecue is wood-smoked, and all their meat is from local and regional farmers. Follow them on Instagram and Facebook for daily specials and holiday meal packages. Stop by their location at the intersection of Grand and Arsenal in South City today for the best barbecue in the STL. Online at navensbbq.com. That's NAVINSBBQ.com.
Here's Action Jackson with 3 more ways to get TMA content.
Get the TMA mobile app and enable notifications so you don't miss a thing. See our content on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Stream us on the TMA mobile app and at TMASTL.com.
Thanks, Jackson. It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After on 105.7 FM HD2.
Remember sitting around at parties in the 90s, singing along to all the current alternative rock songs?
Wanna go for a ride?
Even when you didn't know the words? Well, you can relive the magic when Smashing Pumpkins come to town with Jane's Addiction, Tuesday, November 1st at Enterprise Center. And you can do it for free. Just log into the TMA app or at TMASTL.com. Enter the contest. Smashing Pumpkins, November 1st at Enterprise Center. Tickets on sale now. Find out more at TMASTL.com. Live from the Michelob Ultra Studios, KPNT FM FM HD2, Collinsville, St. Louis. This is TMA All Day.
105.7 HD2. The Ryan Kelly Morning After.
Halloween, go grab a sheet or your favorite mask. Trick or treat, door by door to fill our bags with candy. Scary things waiting for you around the corner of every street. It's Halloween, it's time to scare the pants off your friends. It's Halloween, it's time to collect strangers' candy. It's Halloween, it's time to do some pumpkin carving. What are you going to be for Halloween?
Oh, so haunting.
It really is.
It's the Ryan Kelly Morning After. Welcome to the Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour. Maggie O'Brien's. Catch the game at a pint at one of the two locations in Sunset Hills and downtown. Don't forget Friday Night's Pizza Night. JJ Twiggs Southampton. 20% off for TMA listeners. Take a selfie while you're having a pizza at JJ Twiggs Southampton, and you're entered for a $100 gift certificate. Post that on the TMA fan page. Get involved on this show by texting in the Engineer Design Facilities text inbox 314-881-TMA5. Call in 636-9004-TMA. Steve Schmidt Kia, North County phone lines, and of course email in for our design, air, heating, and cooling email of the day, which comes your way at 9:24. That is 9:24. Doug, inside word coming.
What?
On this traffic conversation from the 8 o'clock hour. I spoke to the traffic engine of the 40 expansion a few years ago, and he said east of Hanley needs to be one more lane wider, but Richmond Heights objected because they didn't want to lose the additional houses. That's Mark from the third most affluent part of Brentwood.
Isn't that ass backwards? You'd rather just have bumper-to-bumper traffic at all time of the day. So that means there's overpopulation. That means you probably
that's
should.
one of the elements of having a wide variety of municipalities as opposed to one governing body asking for what the best interests of the larger population is.
Sometimes they'll use eminent domain to buy those houses, whether those people want to sell it
Doug,
or not.
we saw that in Lambert. Remember that?
Yeah, see that? Yeah, it happens frequently. If they think it's for the better of the community, they'll just say, sorry, we're going to have to buy you out. And they often wind up in court cases, and sooner or later they buy it out, and then they build what they want to build.
Mark from the third most affluent part of Brentwood
Now,
with
what
some inside
would be
word.
the most affluent part of Brentwood?
I feel like we got to go to Jackson on this. He knows where the money is.
I think it's right there at
Litzinger?
McKnight and 40. Is that?
Yeah. Would that be Brentwood?
I think it probably is. Probably
I think
Brentwood.
that might be Ladue.
I think that might be Ladue. I think that might
I think
be
that's
Ladue.
Ladue. I think it becomes Brentwood just to the east of McKnight there.
That's still very affluent.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, I was...
Jackson looks down on it.
Yeah, so the Ladue guy, you know where all the money is.
Would south of Manchester still be Brentwood? Because there's some nice houses right behind that.
Wacko is passionate about the south of Manchester.
Right by that, right by, what's it called? Schnucks there. Huh. Yeah, I'd say it's so commercial. Like, everything in Brentwood is either storefront or apartment buildings, it seems like.
Iggy, did you grow up in the first or second or third most affluent part of Brentwood?
Probably second.
Second.
Yeah, the first is up there by Tillis Park.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so okay, I know what you're talking about. That part I think is Brentwood, but like once you get into Litzinger past Tillis Park, that's will do.
Yeah, but they built a lot of houses in the Tillis Park area. And then you go down a little bit, you got some shacks down there.
It's not very big. Brentwood's not that big.
Down toward Hanley.
What's the
So we're, like,
definition of
second.
shacks?
Well, like just box houses.
Yeah.
No shape to it, just like a square box.
Well, it's just like little boxes on the hillside. Do you remember that song?
No, I don't. But I liked it.
Weeds, baby. Yeah, it was the
Is that what it was?
theme song for
That's
Weeds.
what it was.
Little house.
Friend of the show, Kevin Nealon.
There was a book that really the title should not have been okayed because it was Christine Brennan. You know, she writes about women's sports all the time.
And you called her darling.
And I called her dear.
Dear. She didn't like it.
She wrote a book about women's gymnastics, and I think the title was called Little Girls in Little Boxes. And I said, what kind of a title is that?
Now, how'd that go in the interview?
I never brought that up.
Oh.
But
you were thinking it, though.
You should have.
No, but it's just... Yeah. But anyway.
Heck of a story. Heck of a story.
Well, I just thought you...
What led to that?
You said you started singing something about
little
boxes. Yeah, and that was the title of her book. I'm pretty sure. Now, if I'm wrong, I better check it, because if I'm wrong, that's not the name of the book. But I'm pretty sure that's the name of the book.
I hope it is now.
Well, if it's not, I'll apologize.
So you're saying the book is Little Boxes?
Little girls in little boxes. But I don't know what that has to do with gymnastics.
I don't know. I didn't read that book.
I feel bad even typing this into a search engine.
How are the sports? Are they great?
I'm gonna bail on trying to search this one. I'll go to my phone.
Let Iggy bail.
Turn my Wi-Fi off.
I'm looking for it.
Okay, we'll wait because
Well,
it is
the Edge of Glory. That's
topic.
Doug, while Iggy's looking for the title of Christine Brennan's book on women's gymnastics, I'm going to tell you about Centric. That's Centric Training. That's with Patrick Nealon, who can really roll the rock, for the record. Cybersecurity is the most exciting career in technology and one of the most in-demand. Centric can train you for a career in cybersecurity, and they do it just 4 months. Centric's hands-on program teaches you the actual job skills you need to get started. No history, no biology, just technology. That's how they do it in just 4 months, even if you have no IT experience. You can do it online, or you can do it in person. You can do it in the evenings, or you can do it during the day, whichever works best for you. If you are interested in a career in cybersecurity, call Patrick Nealon at Centric Training today, and he'll walk you through Centric's cutting-edge program and show you everything Centric does to help get you started in your new IT career. Call 314-450-4714, or go to centric.com/STL. That's CNTRIQ.com/STL. Cybersecurity is a problem for every business in St. Louis. You can be part of the solution. There you go, Centric.
All right, I'll take it back.
Yep.
It's close.
What
Still,
was
it's a stupid title. The making and breaking of elite gymnasts and figure skaters, little girls in pretty boxes.
How long ago was that book written?
Hell, I don't know.
It's not a recent release.
No.
It's just a book that's been out there a while, and it's been simmering with you, and
I'm
it's
glad
like a poppy seed stuck under your denture, and you needed to say that.
Tim brought up boxes, and I just remember the name of that book, and I thought it was a stupid book.
I'm just thankful that the show didn't come to a screeching halt because of it.
No, it didn't. Because lots of people talk about that book.
It doesn't look like it was written by Christine Brennan, but
of course.
No, I think it was.
We got the
No,
wrong
Joanne-
author and the wrong title, but it's
Joan
still
Ryan.
a great story.
The author's
It's a good
Joan
book.
Ryan.
It said books by Christine Brennan, I just brought up, and there's a picture of her.
But it says Joan Ryan on the book.
Maybe she was a ghostwriter. Anyway, it's a stupid title, whoever wrote it.
And it's about time that you got that off your chest. People need to know it. You write a book 20 years ago with a bad title. Now is the time that someone challenged you.
95 is when this book came out.
Yeah, so
Still topical.
It's
before I was born.
Maybe we'll do a Pepper and Genie on this book.
Send your emails on how much this
God
book
we
title
aren't doing
bothers
one
you
today.
that was not written by Christine Brennan.
I think it
The
was.
morning after at InsideSTL.com.
They turned it into a Lifetime movie.
Oh, sure they did.
With Swoosie.
Swoosie Kurtz.
Yeah, Swoosie. Didn't do well.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Are there any other titles that you're upset by?
What was the title?
War and Peace. That bother you?
Catcher in the Rye got you a problem with that?
The Bible? You'd like a different title?
Oh, my God.
Won't even let me click on it now. I'm already blocked, I guess.
Okay.
That was almost as good as the crappy open you wrote for your podcast, Ken. Good Lord, that's from show Ombudsman.
Well, how do you know I haven't written it? You haven't even. It hasn't been released yet, and I didn't read it to you, and I didn't send it to you.
No,
so how do you know what it said?
No, we don't. We don't know.
Boy, the audience is really unhappy about that anecdote. Guys, that story was like watching the Pennsylvania debate from the other night. Step right up and one. Come watch producer 3's brain short circuit live on the air. Doug, that was sent from the parking lot via dirt bike, Little Tommy Truck.
Right.
Chris Raby created an audio postcard. Is that correct?
Yeah.
What
Yes,
do we
sir.
have here?
It's like a mashup of the great Steadfast Eyes and Michael Frank's baseball with some little musings mixed in. It's pretty funny.
You came out of nowhere that night.
On the baseball. I thought we'd come up with favorite childhood memories. How was practice today? Or Vicky, what'd you do? And how was your day? And Dad would tell a story from Charcoal House.
I holstered a lot because we may bring this topic up in 6 months. You never know.
People think I grew up in Brentwood. I guess I did. My formidable years were in Brentwood. When I go to TMA events and things like that, I love talking to people. I love hanging out with our listeners, having a beer, chatting, taking pictures. I have weird dreams all the time. But I wanted to talk about just some crazy dreams you had.
I don't want to have more than, a threesome, or I don't want to have more than, 2 guys at a time. I want to make sure they're not 50, 60, 70 years old.
Something you've done that you're very proud of. I remember getting excited to Lily Munster. People ask, why don't you take calls on this thing? Why don't you take text on this thing? Why don't you take emails on this thing?
How would you be as a dad? I don't have kids either, so this is all hypothetical.
People can bitch, Iggy taking it over again. Talk about something Plowsy can't talk about.
Oh, you're good, dude.
You enjoy your hash brown and your McGriddle.
Fantastic.
I tweeted out, you don't have to reinvent award shows.
Was curious how swinging lifestyle started because I would be really nervous.
I've never really been serious about getting married except for Laura Patterson. In front of my patio, there's bird crap, there's pine cones, there's needles, there's leaves, there's big tree limbs that fall, and I've broken 5 of my tables and 4 umbrellas. In the almost 3 years I've been in this area of the complex after I had to move, he just cared about pleasing the fans and playing music. That's Rory Gallagher.
And now the Pepper and Genie Show with Darren Atkins and Ken Strode. All right, take it, fellas.
There it is. That's the open.
Who is the redhead on Mad Men? Love is just like baseball.
Okay.
I can see why it's such a pocket.
Listen to those topics and tell me we don't kill it.
Right.
That was better than the show, actually.
Chris Raby can flat out put together an audio post.
That was a good one, Raby.
Who is the redhead on that?
Oh, that was a recent topic, I think. She's a diamond.
You think those are the same conversations we're going to be having in Delmar Gardens here in a few years? Where you just think of something and you blurt it out?
100%. No filter needed, man.
Hey, Doug, what about that Mad Men?
Who was the redhead?
She had big breasts.
There's your new Pepper and Genie Open Good Work Fantasy Coachworks Blimp Operator. That's from Al in Dadeville.
It's a 2-minute open, though. I guess I would shorten up our segment, but that is...
Well, the one I wrote's going to be longer than that. But I like that.
I'd go with this one.
Pokey Culkin, also known as KG in O-Town, feels like he is potentially being cucked, I guess. Raby, if you think I'm going to sit here and let you make my future second ex-wife the butt of your audio postcard joke, you, sir, can meet me at the South Broadway Athletic Club for a non-sanctioned boxing match.
Oh.
Wow.
I love South.
Scrap.
Wow.
Broadway Athletic Club is so cool.
I didn't realize KG in O-Town had been slammed there in some way.
His future second ex-wife, I believe that's Cassie. What's her Cassie?
Cassie Moore.
Oh, okay.
Was she in there?
Yeah, she was singing the whole time.
Steadfast Eyes.
Steadfast.
Really? During
That's where it all began.
That's how it started.
God, I love that song so much. I'm gonna pay someone off to play it like at my house this weekend. So,
You're going to Columbia again?
No, but I'll have him send me a video. I actually know the DJ there. I could actually get
Jackson knows the DJ at my house.
He's a fraternity brother of mine.
This guy, he's really become a mover and shaker.
That's how you got in for free, huh?
No, my buddy knew the bouncer.
Gareth.
Gareth was not present.
And that's worth $45 a head for knowing the bouncer.
Yeah, man, boy, it was a pricey weekend.
Well, it would have been worse. If you had
Yeah, it could have been. I avoided it.
You wouldn't have gone, I guess.
HD2 power goes 120 miles west.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Doug, the Gers are now only a 4-point underdog against the Cocks.
What's happening there?
I don't know.
Their players not
I
playing?
guess we got to bet on the Gers. Plow, you betting on the Gers?
No, I did see a funny tweet.
I said no.
I've got to find this tweet.
What's going on?
It talks about Drink after the game. Apparently, in the locker room, he like pulled out a Cuban and started lighting it as if like.
No way.
Yes.
That didn't happen. There's no way.
Well, was this like reported by like a Dave Yarman or Dave Mann?
It was somebody
Like he was
with a
Red
check-
Auerbach.
It was someone with a check mark, I'm pretty sure, and they actually had a quote from Drink.
Wow. Doug,
Sarky
you
status.
heard about this?
He
He pulled
smoked
out a
out.
cigar after they beat Vanderbilt? Like
I
it was
can't
Red Auerbach?
freaking find this now.
You're not supposed to smoke indoors.
Yeah, and plus, I don't
Well,
think
Joe
there's
Burrow
any-
did that.
I don't think there's any way he would do that after a 17-14 win over Vanderbilt.
He-
When after the game, he even said, we weren't good.
I assure you that this was a tweet from some verified account.
Wow.
Now I have to find it.
Was this
It's
like from
freaking
like
annoying.
Tiger's Lair 02314?
No, it's Kenny Van Doren.
Doug Kenny Van Doren. He's related to John Tulty.
And Mimi Van Doren.
Yeah, he writes for. He's a writer at MU football, co-Missourian or at co-Missourian, whatever.
At the Missourian?
Columbia, Missouri.
Well, that seems
Yeah.
legit.
So what did he write?
Missouri coach Eli Drinkwitz had a Cuban cigar after Saturday's win. He was asked what brand was his favorite, and he said whichever one is given to him. Drinkwitz also joked he stacked them up over the summer because you never know how the season's going to go.
So he thought he might need more of these cigars.
Well, he could have been out like having dinner or something, and he lit one outside or something.
Yeah, that would. And so this is legit.
It doesn't say in the locker room, though, does it? Like right after the win?
No, it says after Saturday's win, he lit up
Oh.
a Cuban. Context seems like he did it in the locker room. But
Well, I lit up a Salem after they won, too. But
and somebody quote tweeted, "You won by 3 points over Vanderbilt."
It's starting to sound like Bob Euchre's moments where he says the biggest moment of his professional career was getting it out against the Mets in a rundown in a spring training game.
And the answer to that question was Cohiba, by the way.
Answer to what question?
To what? The tweet?
Best Cuban cigar.
Oh.
Doug, look at this. We got a cigar aficionado over
World's
here.
most interesting man.
No, I used to
You
smoke them.
smoked a
when
lot of Cuban cigars?
I smoked them when you weren't allowed to.
Oh, my God.
They were illegal at the time. Now it's no big deal.
Imagine Drank after a nice recruiting dinner and a huge win against New Mexico State. Goes home to his humidor.
Give me the cowboy ribeye.
Cattleman's cut.
We beat New Mexico State 21-20.
I want to hear that baby moo on my plate.
Guys, Raby would destroy KG and O-Town. That's from the 314. So is this about really going to happen?
Well, I wouldn't say that.
Have you seen KG lately?
Yeah, KG and O-Town.
He's ripped up.
He's a stout man, isn't he?
Oh, yeah, he would.
Raby would have reach on him. Raby's pretty tall.
His calves are bigger than my head.
Well, why are they mad at each other? I didn't get much of a slam
I
against
think
anybody.
KG is friends with Cassie Moore. And he kind of put steadfast eyes in the background of that. I don't know why that makes you mad. It's just pram building.
You think maybe he's just kidding?
Yes, Doug. We are.
All right.
This show is a complete
We're already
joke.
talking about a boxing match.
Moves quick here.
Haven't had one in a while.
Yeah, been about 5 years. I retired from promoting.
I wonder why.
But they are so fun to go to. Like that one.
The one with Ryan Kelly and Timberfake. It
Remember
was good entertainment.
How packed that was?
Yeah.
That place went to the
There
gills.
was the energy in that building that night was stunning. It was like 2018 or something.
Producer Joe had a two-bout career.
And then Tim did a post-game interview with Cucky.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I called into the changing station. I was honored.
My parents were at that fight.
They went
Everyone
to
was
it.
there.
They bought tickets and went. My mom was like really excited to go.
It was to the gill, like
It was.
absolutely
It was
jam-packed.
And then
Outside.
Timberfake was refusing to come out because his
The song.
music wasn't playing. Yeah, that's what it was.
That's when Seymour. I've never seen Seymour more angry.
Oh, is that right?
Because he was in charge of like getting the email from Timberfake for the music, but at the last second, Timberfake goes, "Oh, Jake, check your email. We're changing up the song." And Seymour's like, "We can't do that." And then Timberfake refused to come out, and Seymour, you could tell
It's
why.
tough to get the Sea Monster upset. I was DMing with the Sea Monster the other day because Jackson, in order to try to moderate the fan pin, communicating with those who apply to the TMA fan page, and the application is the process of "Are you real?" And I just was cutting and pasting, like sending out 50 people in the queue, and not seeing who I was sending them to. And then I realized, I just sent the Sea Monster had jumped on to be back on the fan page. And then we just started BSing.
Smart.
And I said to him, because he'll DM with Ryder, the executive producer at 101. I think he's close with him because Seymour produced at 101. Do you know who he produced for you, since you know the producing world better?
Was it the Fast Lane, I thought?
Oh, did you really?
I thought it was the afternoon show.
that right? And then he went to San Francisco with Barrett.
Well, Barrett was here at 101, I believe.
Right, but then he went to San
Then he went to
Francisco.
San Fran and brought
Right.
Sea Monster with him.
Right.
Yeah.
I wonder how many years he spent in San Francisco.
4 years.
I don't know if that's right or not. If there was some sort of
You're
audio
so
proof.
annoying with this.
If it was audio proof, we could nail it down.
Well, some of that my problem is some were named Jason Barrett, some were named
He
Barrett.
spent 2 years. He spent 5 years. He spent a couple months.
So keep at it. Just keep at it.
I know it wasn't a long time, but it was a couple years at least.
So you're talking about San Francisco, right?
San Francisco.
Okay. When we
Yeah.
talk about San Francisco and how long Barrett's been there,
Yeah.
I spent 4 years in San Francisco.
I'm seamless with
Seamless.
that. I mean,
Seamless.
you couldn't ask for a better
There you
transition.
go, right when you called for it.
4 years.
Guys, Seymour produced Zach and the Coach.
Seymour was amazing.
Oh, the coach was Rick Venturi.
That's right. And
Fabulous guy.
Zach was the fan, Zach McCright, right?
I'm just a big old guy. I'm just a fan, just like you. I heard him say that once. I liked it.
That's a nice move.
Mm-hmm.
You endear yourself to the audience when you say, I'm just like you.
I'm just a big old guy.
But then you go into that studio in 15 minutes, and then you talk about Ledoux and watching the NBA last night, and that's how you don't endear yourself.
Well, I wouldn't
to the
think.
audience.
Yeah, you lose the pores.
The pores.
Well, then you lose your
Do we
listener
need him?
base.
Yeah, if you're talking about Ledoux, they can't relate.
Ledoux's are the pores?
No.
Oh.
The pores listening to the show, when Jackson talks about Ledoux, they can't relate
Well,
to
it's not.
that.
I don't like. I just went there. I know. I'm not like, here's
Well,
the State of the Union for the
Well, just bring up that you had a pool
7,000 person town.
You just run it around the region
Let
quite
them know,
a bit.
let them know you had a pool growing up.
I've been labeled as a waspy Catholic, which is fascinating.
Yeah, they really know
It's
your
an
religious.
oxymoron.
They really know your religious beliefs right now.
I didn't know. I didn't.
You can't be both.
Yeah, that is correct.
Well, just tell them you had a pool growing up. That'll get them.
Guys, Kulky Culkin, a.k.a. KG No Town, has issued a statement. Cassie Moore and I are going to be more than friends. At Kachina, it was season, and Blimpy don't want this smoke. Wow, he just called Brapey Blimpy.
Now, when
Blimpy
she
subs up?
Blimpy don't want this smoke.
when she brought that line, I think right before that was when I was on Thanksgiving break. Wasn't it like touching?
That's where it all began.
Kachina.
Is she attractive?
It just depends on what you're looking
I know
for.
it's in the mind of the beholder. What is it called?
I don't know.
I have.
Dude,
Eye of the beholder.
after hearing the song, she's become less attractive.
I never
Disagree.
I haven't seen her picture. I don't believe.
Well, Steadfast Eyes is an absolute
She
bang.
sounds cute.
Yeah, it sounds like she should be a problem, though. You getting blocked from Bumble.
Can you tell how a girl looks just by listening to her voice?
Good question.
You said she sounds cute.
Yeah, she sounds cute. Just has that like kind of high pitched, bubbly voice.
Well, if Wellington matched with her on Bumble, I bet she's good looking.
Yeah.
Wow, listen to Jackson.
Good point. Good point.
Wellington's a handsome gentleman.
Look at this.
I thought they didn't match.
He
I thought
wants
she
that.
turned
No,
him in.
they did, and then something happened, and she got him booted.
Well, they got to the point where they had each other's phone number.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were texting each other.
But then she blocked him and
Sure.
reported
And
him.
they wanted him tossed.
You can chat on Bumble.
Yeah, but I think I thought he said he was texting her, and then she stopped texting him back after he gave her money.
He gave her money?
Oh, for a charity
To a
thing.
charity.
And
Oh,
she
that's
did
right.
send it back to him right after the block,
Yeah.
or right before the block. So she...
Well, the whole thing went sideways.
Our bed became our paradise.
Yeah, I can't. I got hit up by.
The Canitos.
And I understand these people.
Just unbelievable.
At least she sent the money back, proving that I wasn't trying to take your money here. I don't want it. It was for a charity. But I felt bad. I didn't know what to do with this.
What happened?
And now I find out that there's people doing this all over the place. But I had a Sega Genesis.
Genesis. How old is that?
I found it. I found it in my room one day. It'll tie into what we're talking about here.
Give it time.
Yeah, how she gave money back from a charity. But I found it one day and I said, "Oh God, how old is this thing?" And I only had one controller, but I had like 3 games for it. It was still good shape. Had all the cords to it, so I put it. I'm never going to use it, but the Sega Genesis, the old games are worth something.
Oh, that
So I
Sega's a
put it
shit.
on Facebook Marketplace, and I had a couple of people interested. Then I had a lady goes, I don't even know how to say this, but I really, I don't have any money. My husband has left me and my boy, and I just got let go with my job. I don't know what I'm going to do for Christmas. Is there any way you'd like to donate it to me so I could give it to my boy for Christmas? And I was thinking, you know what, I feel bad, but I don't know this lady. And then I find out that this is like a thing that people are making up. I have cancer, and people are giving money, or they're doing this, and they find out they're faking it. So, I don't know. I felt kind of bad that I didn't give it to her, but I didn't know if she was real or not.
Right.
So, the same way with Wellington. Nice guy, gave her the money, but then she stopped talking to him, where you think, okay, she just wanted it for the money. It's a scam.
Mm-hmm.
And then find out, no, she blocked him and then gave the money back.
Well, why would she block him?
I guess she was upset that he thought it was fake, that I guess I gave you the money for your charity, and now you're not going to talk to me.
I saw a story that Gucci Man accidentally, like, Zelled, I think, some form of Venmo. I don't think it was Venmo. The wrong person, $1,800.
Oh, yeah?
And they showed, like, a screenshot of the message to the person that got the 18. Hey, can you send that back? Hey, can you send that back? Hey, I think you mind sending that back? You know, I need that. And the guy goes, nah. And then the next thing, it's blocked.
Guwap can afford it. I had a buddy who we would always Venmo for tailgates. We'd Venmo one person for tailgates at Mizzou. And for a whole season, he was Venmoing the wrong guy. Some guy every week would get $20 into his Venmo account.
That's hilarious.
Every single week. And then at the end of the season, my buddy messaged him, and he sent all the money back. He hadn't deposited any of the money. He took it all back.
But wouldn't the guy you're supposed to be sending the 20 to after a game or two say, I haven't gotten your money yet?
We have 110 brothers, so he kind of gets lost in the shuffle.
Yeah.
That's a big tailgate party.
Wow, those stories weren't the same at all. That's from Lady Gaga's Fupa.
Well, they were kind of the same if you've been paying attention.
Save this crap for Pepper and Genie so I can skip through it. That's from Mr. Liz. You just forced this story right in. That's from the total package.
Don't bury your head in your hands now. Wasn't that bad? Don't let him get you down.
I still have the Sega, if anybody's interested. I never did sell it.
Oh, you still need to get this straight. Some Hoosier trying to steal a gaming console from 1989 is the same as donating to a charity for a date in 2022. That's from Ricky Rapace.
It was. Wellington thought he was getting screwed, and I didn't know what to do. I thought she was trying to finagle this out of me and lie to me, but I still felt bad, so...
Well, what you do is you get Tullamore Dew. You celebrate all your college and fantasy
Give me one
teams'
now,
Tully
please.
touchdowns. Yeah, pour one right now. This weekend with Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. May your team be swift and their aim be true. May the rafts be forever in your favor, and your whiskey always. Tullamore Dew. Tullamore Dew, the original triple-blended, triple-distilled, smooth-sipping Irish whiskey made exactly for game day moments like this. When it's game time, it's Tully time. Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey. Imported by William Grant & Sons, Inc., New York, New York. Please enjoy Tullamore Dew responsibly. And Stratum Structural Systems. Work with the great Brett Groman. Work with the great Matt Ford. If you're dealing with waterproofing issues or foundation repair needs, work with the company I worked with just in August recently when we had waterproofing problems ourselves. They came over and they fixed it immediately. And we were out of town and they fixed it. That's how good they are. The word of mouth traveling around St. Louis is if you have needs for basement crack repair, foundation peering for settling homes, bowing or rotating wall repairs, basement waterproofing services like sump pumps, interior and exterior drainage solutions, work with Stratum, 314-620-8153. Call them, let them know you are a TMA listener, and you get $100 off your repair project. Think local, think Stratum, and think about it. Let's see. Raby just texted me and said, steadfast eyes, also how most people described Iggy's steely-gazed caddy at the Fan Page Club Championship a few years ago.
Yeah, funny one.
God almighty.
Well, I mean, that's getting old. I mean, a couple years ago. And she wasn't steely-eyed. She couldn't have been nicer.
Had an icy demeanor.
Until you gave her a tip.
Yeah.
This is when I was furloughed. I miss all the good stuff.
You were furlouged for that one, too?
Well, you could have come out.
I think that was my third or my fourth furlough, so I did come back for a stint.
You're a veteran furlough.
A veteran of furloughs.
It was a station event, which means there was nobody from the station there, so they wouldn't even have known you were there.
But people were required to give this girl money just because she was sitting there?
For a smile, Doug.
They required nothing. You
It's
didn't
like-
have to put any money in there.
It's like giving a tip to the person who takes your order. If you go to
I tip
a lot of
carry out.
restaurants. What about the people that just take your order, like at bread companies? Say,
Yeah.
okay, can I have a tip now? You just took my order.
Yeah,
That's it.
that is an awkward spot.
I tipped $5 yesterday or the other day for a pickup.
Oh, I get anxiety when they flip that iPad around, and it's like 20, 25, or 30% tip.
Because I just
you handed me a
typed in your
fork.
order in the computer.
Yeah, like you gave me an extra peppercorn ranch. Like I don't know if that's worthy.
You're
of
right,
like
Doug. It's
$5.
total, like, what constitutes a tip nowadays?
Well, I like
sit-down service, like, obviously
100%.
mandatory. But even if you're drive to go pick it up, I don't think you owe anyone a tip there either.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've got to get to the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today,
Strong
but I
best.
agree with you. They had just taken my grandma's house via eminent domain to build the Builders Square Plaza on Watson. So I stopped by her house for more time, and it brought up some old hidden down deep memories. He and I used to hop the fence to 66 Drive-In and watch movies whilst hiring your love sitting in the back row of the gravel parking lot. Doug, I'm going to read it again.
Okay, maybe we'll understand it this time.
He and I used to hop the fence to 66 Drive-In and watch movies whilst hiring your love sitting in the back row of the gravel parking lot.
Doesn't make any sense. No.
Staring.
It was a gravel parking lot. I snuck into 66 a few times myself. Not over
With
a
this
fence.
gentleman?
Not with him. No, usually we'd hide in the trunk of the car, and then when we parked, hop out of the trunk.
Oh, nice.
Because we're desperate to save $1.50.
For ours was a forbidden love. Kirkwood guys and Afton guys were not allowed to hang out together. So when it turned sexual, we started meeting under the cloak of darkness. Families finally caught us when we both fell asleep whilst watching Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. That shirtless scene with Ted Cassidy and Paul Newman was too much for us to contain ourselves. After we were found naked, our legs intertwined and sweaty, his khakis firmly laid over the fence, our families forbid us to see each other again. He will always be my Natalie Wood in West Side Story, my forbidden fruit. That's from Amanda's the first name, also a lady. And the last name is Holdenbang.
Amanda Hobong.
I was going to send my usual prose in the morning, but I can't get the image of the Sultan of SWAT getting his dirt star tongued out of my head. I can see it now, a thick stogie, a bottle of bourbon, a gal in a flapper dress, and a barren hole with 1920s hygiene. Any woman willing to part those big butt cheeks and whistle Dixie and that man's dirt star before the advent of two-ply toilet paper is a national hero. Always remember that not all heroes wear capes and some of them get pink eye. Thanks. That's Danny Tanner.
Danny Tanner with a particularly vile email aimed squarely at the Sultan of SWAT.
My wife's parents asked if they could tag along for trick-or-treating this year. To make matters worse, my wife and I are doing a lame couple's costume. She's playing the part of a standard housewife, and I'm pretending to be a married straight man who isn't having a secret love affair with his father-in-law. While everyone is focused on our kids grabbing candy from the bowl, I'm going to put my hand down my wife's dad's pants and grab something sweet for myself. If we get caught, I'll just claim it's some sort of goofy Halloween prank. According to my lawyer, Mr. Dieterding? The law states that a wife legally cannot get mad about a harmless, funny little prank. Want to know a secret? Once we put the kids to bed on Hallows Eve, I'm going to say something like, "Hey, honey, I left my hammer at your dad's house. I'm going to go grab it real quick."
Oh, no.
And here's the secret. I didn't leave any tools at his house. That was just an excuse to go to his house and do the monster mash. The only thing my wife's dad is going to be hammering is my butt.
Hey!
Trick or treat, bitches. That's from the JV golf coach.
JV golf coach.
And finally, gentlemen, good morning. I mean, where do I even start? I tune out for a couple months to focus on my waist trainer kiosk for dads at CYC games, and all of a sudden you guys are in the big leagues. Couple observations. Plowsy, good on you. I heard a segment on TMA all day yesterday in which you boasted about your caretaker, Madison, having a connection in the fabric industry, so you'll be able to get a piece of black cloth for your OnlyFans backdrop at wholesale pricing. Look at you. I don't know what a piece of fabric costs nowadays, but if you're willing to burn a favor to save a couple cents, you must have had a hell of a year. And Iggy, quite the traveler with all the vacations he has planned contingent upon if Tim, Jackson, and Doug are talking about their vacations. Like I've always said, earn your perks. And if you're able to fabricate a vacation you are taking in real time in hopes of impressing your 17-year-old boss and his peers, then I just couldn't be happier for you, buddy. Onward and upward, you homely sacks of sadness.
Oh.
Thanks, that's from Ellen Foley's travel agent. Hey, you guys are going on vacation to Florida that week. Yeah, me too. What do you mean where in Florida? I don't know. I haven't planned it yet, but I'll probably go if you guys go. But if you guys aren't going, it's totally cool if I don't go too. Anyway, there's a bunch of vacations I plan on talking about to fit in.
Ellen Foley's travel agent.
And that's what we have for the Design Air Heating and Cooling email today. Show me what you got, little mama. Show me what you got, little lady. Show me what you got, sure air.
Well, there was some interesting writing there. I have to go with the last one, Ellen Foley's travel agent.
Yeah, I feel bad because Danny Tanner, you were going to win, get my vote until the last one. So Ellen Foley.
Ellen Foley is back and just in time to possibly try and compete for the month of October. But can Ellen Foley catch Kevin Miller with the clock running down?
No, he won't email in the rest of the month.
Well, he can't. Ellen Foley couldn't even win.
Mathematically eliminated, Doug.
We only got 2 left.
Mathematically eliminated.
Well,
Kevin
nice
Miller
try.
is looking for back-to-back wins and tickets to Jingle Fest. Jackson and I have tickets to get our asses ripped for the next hour, and we're going to go cash them in.
Come and get your whooping.
Dan McLaughlin will join us while Jackson and I are held accountable for the Blues scoring issues. You can send your texts in, like Merle in Oakville and Hugh from Marlboro does. At 65780, the 101 ESPN app is where you can leave your mic drop. Pepper and Genie will be airing, but it will not be recording today. Is that correct?
Yeah, you gotta love the work ethic, Tim.
Well, we got an extra one. We're not going to waste it.
Well, it's not an extra one. It's one that we forgot.
Well, it's extra. We haven't played it yet, so we'll play that one today.
You guys are what I would call rainmakers. You know, when there's a drought all around us, you guys can make it rain.
That's a Burt Lancaster movie.
Matt Damon. In 95? Was it 95?
Was it a remake of the original?
I don't know. I never saw the original.
Robbie Benson?
No, the original was Burt Lancaster. He was what do they call those guys that they tell you they can do something but they can't?
Liars?
No. He went from town to town saying he could make
carpetbaggers,
something like that.
Nice.
But he went to, I think Katharine Hepburn was in it. But he went town to town and said, I can make it rain. He had these like sticks and everything, and it was just all fake. And the one time it did rain, and he was the savior.
Yeah, a tuning fork, one of those.
Yeah, one of those things.
We have to go, unfortunately, but we will be back with tomorrow's edition. And don't forget, a new Pepper and Genie, at least new to you, will be up.
New to us. We don't remember what we said.
In a matter of moments. For the Plowhawk, for Action Jackson, for Kenneth Iggy Strode, for my brother Kevin, for Douglas Elvin Vaughn, I'm Tim McKernan. This has been the Ryan Kelly Morning After from the Michelob Ultra Studios, closing out our Maggie O'Brien's 9 o'clock hour.